What up, Capers? Happy Tuesday.
Hey, Capers.
What up,
Well, they might not be
Capers?
listening to this on a Tuesday. The episode comes out on Tuesday, but...
Well, y'all should be listening on Tuesday because that's when it came out.
That's true. Whenever you're listening to this.
Yeah.
I don't mean to tell you what to do.
Or you could span it out over several days, too.
That's true.
Right.
These are long. These are long episodes.
Pretty long.
We're binge-worthy.
Yes.
Oh, we are. Of course.
Definitely.
I'm going to hashtag that now. Got Martin the Thought Junkie here.
Hey, with Chad, the resident movie nerd.
Chris, the film school dropout.
Ryan the Collector.
Yes,
Yeah.
Chris. Let's clap it up for
Look
Chris.
at that. Hey, I jumped in line. Hey, I heard my cue. I got right up in there. It took umpteen to get it straight.
He's been practicing in the mirror
Day
all
and
week.
night.
Yeah.
In the bathroom.
He
Chris,
locks
the film
himself in a
school
stall and
dropout.
just says,
Chris, the
film school dropout over and over and over and over.
We're here at our new home. If you remember, we are now at Black Cat Comics in Burbank.
Black Cat
downtown.
Near downtown Burbank.
Near downtown Magnolia Boulevard. 3005 Magnolia Boulevard.
That is correct. Yeah.
You guys
I'll
have
take
to
your
come.
word for it.
You have to come check this
Oh,
place
I
out.
had to come down here.
Like we said, this is like what you wish your basement could be.
Yes.
It's like the ultimate comic nerd man cave or
yeah.
woman cave.
Yes.
Right.
Either. Collector's
It's
Play.
amazing. I just noticed the giant collector's edition Close Encounters of the Third Kind Laserdisc
Ooh.
on display here,
Oh, wow.
which is awesome and one of the many countless awesome.
Oh wow,
things
who
here.
still got their Laserdisc player?
Write a comment if you still have a Laserdisc player. I never had one.
I will say this: I do have a Laserdisc player at my place right now.
Whoa.
Yes, I don't know if it works,
Also.
but
Ooh.
it's.
We had them in like
I haven't
our,
thrown it away. I
our
haven't thrown it away.
classrooms in elementary school. We had
Mhm.
Laserdisc players very briefly. That's my only experience with those. Really.
Also going to point out that they have pretty much every original Disney movie in VHS. So if you have a VHS player, you're good there too.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
Do they have any HD DVDs? That's what I want to know.
I think those are probably more rare than VHS tapes. That's fine.
You're
Oh,
right.
I just want
Right.
to also point out what's great about this store is the area. They have a Porto's in the area, other restaurants, really cool kind of unique stores.
Some year-round Halloween
Or
stores.
year-round
yeah.
Halloween. It's just a cool area. So come down here, come to the area, but also come to the store because they got a lot of cool stuff here too.
Hell yeah!
So you
Yeah,
ask
there's
yourself, why aren't you here yet?
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot of people.
why
Why
aren't
is he
you-
not here?
Why aren't
Yeah,
you
where's
here right
everybody?
now? So let's kick off this episode.
So what's our what is our beer of the week over
Oh
there,
yes,
Resident
I
Movie
guess-
Nerd?
Okay, so Martin's the one who always chooses these.
Chooses wisely, I will say.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He always tries to find some connection. Now, I'm going to see if I can guess the connection. This is DonGraper beer from Mikkeller Brewing Company in SanDiego.
SanDiego.
Oh, yeah,
Hometown.
Martin's hometown. There we go. Maybe that's what caught his eye. It's got a cool, like, green label. It's kind of soft to the touch. It's I don't know what material this is, but it's got, like, a representation of a cartoon man listening to what looks like a woman pitch him something about grapes.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to guess the connection.
Do it.
Today we are watching Iron Man 2, the third film in the MCU. And this was the first appearance of John Slattery playing Howard Stark, Tony's dad. And, of course, John Slattery was Roger Sterling on Mad Men. So, and Don Draper being played by John Hamm on Mad Men. And so we have the Don Graper being... All right, well, you know what?
That's what I thought
still
that
a
was.
pretty damn good connection.
I mean,
That's
that was
not
less than 7 degrees,
He's
though.
not
So I'll
wrong.
give you that.
Yeah, it's such a great connection.
That is a
How
really
would
good
we know
connection,
that?
though.
All right, Mark, just
All right,
fucking
Martin,
say
go ahead.
That was a really good connection. No, Don Draper, one of the greatest television characters in the history of television, who is a narcissist and very full of himself, as well as Tony
he's so-
My
Stark.
connection.
I like yours
Also-
better.
Mine
just
made more.
to be clear.
Mine made more sense.
His made much more sense.
I gotta lean. I gotta
But okay,
lean.
I like
with
it,
the
I like it.
Slattery
I
know,
thing.
that's true.
I
That's
gotta
true.
ask, Mark, did you even know about that connection before?
Yes, I bought it because of that.
No,
But
our
how-
connection.
Yes, I was watching
So
it
you
today.
just knew I would say that's the connection. You were thinking
God
some
damn it.
alternate explanation so you could buzz
Just
me
a
wrong.
mess with us, yeah.
Nah.
That's exactly what you did.
That's pretty much
No,
what he did.
but your tie is great too. That's a
Yeah.
very good tie. We'll just say
Yeah.
they're both the tie. They're both
Okay,
the
I
ties.
get it. I know I get yours. I get yours.
Okay.
But I do have
Well,
to
We'll have
say,
to see if
I
there's
was
grapes.
mistaken.
Maybe there's grapes in this movie.
I was
somewhere.
mistaken because Tony Stark is not a narcissist. And many
Yes, sir.
people like to label him as that. But as we see later on in the film, one of the big things, he does have empathy. Narcissists don't have empathy.
Yes.
He has empathy for different characters. He does not have this grandiose point of view of himself.
Right.
he does, but it's validated. So narcissists probably, their views of themselves are oftentimes exaggerated. So, so I was wrong.
That sounds good. No, that's a great connection. So
I like
check
that
this
too.
out. So who do we got for the Caper of the Week?
And the Caper of the Week. He's been checking our posts a lot. It's TJ Super Hype.
TJ Super.
Yes, TJ Super.
That's an awesome name.
Yeah,
Pretty cool,
it's
actually.
Terrence TJ Super Hype.
We need
Rogers.
some Super Hype for this show.
Rogers, because he is actually my brother.
Ah.
So yeah, I didn't realize he was like on it constantly.
Now,
like
is
this,
Super
but that's
Hype,
good.
is that a name that runs in your family?
That is not. It runs in one sector of the family, and that's around my brother's area.
What's his
But
first name?
His name's Terrence.
Yeah, I have to point out, I have noticed Terrence has been
too.
liking a lot of our posts, and
awesome.
we really appreciate that. So, thank
So yeah, he runs Radio Super out in Phoenix, Arizona.
Nice.
So if you're on there, you go to radiosuper.com and you can see him live on the radio. He has his own radio station. He has a bunch of shows. He's the host and creator of the Rock the Mic show, which is brand new. So
nice.
yeah, if you're out in Arizona, if you're out in Phoenix, Sunday night, Rock the Mic show. I think it's Sunday afternoon. Don't quote me on the
Sometime
time.
on Sunday.
In LA, our time difference,
You know
You
it.
can't
you
remember
know.
that.
But hey,
Cool.
Caper of the Week, TJ
Yeah.
Super Hype.
TJ.
We raise our DonGraper to you.
This is
Don
Don
Graper, so you
Graper.
clap it
Hey,
up.
hey.
All right, and
All
now,
Alright, the collector.
yeah,
TJ
Collector,
Super.
what have you bestowed upon us today?
So yeah, I was trying to decide what would be a good book to bring to this, and there's definitely some great options. I managed to get this. I want to say first off from Kyle, the owner of Black Cat Comics. He was nice enough to pull through his personal collection and sell me this book. So what I have for us here is Tales of Suspense 97. Does anyone see the connection here?
Well, it says
Oh!
Iron Man in large
Whiplash.
red
What
letters
does it
on
say
the
right
front.
there? The Coming of Who.
Whiplash.
Oh, Whiplash.
Yes.
So this book is the first appearance of Whiplash.
Oh, wow.
And that is what
wow.
he looked like before he became really cool looking in the movie we're about to watch.
And
Yeah,
badass
yes,
Russian
yeah.
dude.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he looks like Zangief on a bad day.
He
but,
does.
But
Wait, Captain
on the
America's
comic,
in this?
So a lot of the early Tales of Suspense issues were actually kind of a dual issue where it would feature both Iron Man and Captain America.
cool.
Oh, wow.
And actually, it's Tales of Suspense 59, which is the first solo story of Captain America. So from that point on, that's where you get the combination of those two characters together. And then they spawn off into their own series after issue 99, I believe. So after Tales of Suspense 99, they both got their own single issues of Captain America number 100, and Iron Man number 1.
Well,
And they were called big premiere issues when that happened.
What year is this one from with Whiplash and Iron Man?
This is probably going to be 67, I believe. Either 68 or 67. It's right around that time.
How much is this one worth?
I paid $20 for this. It's a low-grade copy.
$20?
$20.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you're like 20. You're
I
just
know,
gonna drop
I know.
like a 20 grand
No,
number.
no, no.
I don't know.
In high grade, this probably can go for about $1,000.
Well, it's not in glass, so
It's not in
yeah.
glass.
it's not in glass.
Yeah.
If Whiplash was not on the front cover, I would definitely have opened this for you guys to see what he looks like. But he's already on the front cover, so you can see him. So it's
Cool.
perfect. So
Very
that
cool.
is what I brought.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
Sweet.
Nice.
Well, guys.
doesn't always have to be a $20,000 book. So
I mean,
Does it?
I guess
But
not.
you set the bar so
Yeah.
high now.
Yeah.
Now we're
You
like,
brought in
20.
Batman 1 for like the first one.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, you set the bar so high. When you say I paid 20, my mind goes to 20 grand.
Hey, it's
Silly
understandable.
stuff.
But no, that's
Okay.
it's still cool to see that comic, and we'll tag it.
Oh
and
yeah.
People who love that comic will hopefully come and
Yeah.
listen to this audio commentary. So,
It's great to see. I like to connect these movies to the actual physical history of
Mhm.
these characters, which
Where
I
they came
know
from, yeah.
nothing about. So.
Yeah.
And that's the early days when Stan was still writing. So it's pretty cool to know that that's a book that he worked on directly.
Yeah.
wow.
Because he doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, with that said, let's get this bad boy started. I haven't seen Iron Man 2 in probably...
How long's it been?
it's been at least maybe 8 years for me.
Wow.
It came
I
out
was-
8 years ago.
Yeah, that's what
I
I
think-
said.
The moment it came out.
I will say I have
It-
seen
yeah.
it. I haven't seen it since it came out,
Yeah.
but then I kind of saw it one time recently.
Then you lied to us.
That means you-
No, but before
You've
that,
seen it.
and I've kind of seen it one time recently,
Wow.
like pieces of it kind of
Pieces,
recently.
pieces.
Okay,
But
don't
I hadn't
count
seen
pieces.
it. I hadn't seen the whole thing since it actually
It's
the time it
probably
came out.
been at least, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, almost 8 years. I probably have watched it once or twice since it came out, but not for at least 5 or 6 years. So it's been a while. It'd be fun to revisit.
I want to say it's been about 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
I think
this is dope.
Yeah, I think this. We'll revisit this in the context of what the MCU is now. So
And quite frankly, I just want to point out, I think it's one of the movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that's not one you're really going to pursue wanting to watch. So I think that's why it can go for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years before you might have seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the first appearance of Black Widow, and
there's some important stuff.
But it's not one of the better movies, if we're being honest. So.
I don't agree with that.
Well,
but,
let's revisit it and find out.
Hey, but we'll talk about it.
All right. Well,
you would put it up there with like Avengers: Infinity War and other movies?
No, not up there, but I wouldn't put it down there at the bottom.
Well, like the mid pack.
I mean, I'm not going to
We know it's better than
I'm not going to put down there with Thor.
All right, Capers, we are going to start this in 3, 2, 1, play. Playing Iron Man 2. Here we go. Start with when the Paramount logo was still before the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
It's the third MCU movie after Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk.
Was this the last Paramount one?
No, I think Avengers.
Avengers was
was
Paramount too? Oh, wow.
That was the end of the deal,
which
was 2 years after this.
This is before Tony's really he's not messed up yet. That's after the first Avengers movie. So
we're flipping the pages for the Marvel logo.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm really excited to watch this. I love the first act of this. Like, this is everything. There's so much that was packed into this movie. You have the whole father stuff. You have the Russian character. You have Whiplash. Then you have Tony Stark and what's killing him. And then you have Black Widow introduced. There's so much going on in this movie.
Oh, yeah. And it's kind of the introduction of... this is kind of like it kind of pushes the Avengers storyline, too, with Nick Fury showing up.
Well, apparently... Jon Favreau had some issues with Marvel during this movie. They were requesting constant rewrites and everything to jam in all sorts of things to set up, Thor and Captain America, and then leading into the Avengers, all the things with S.H.I.E.L.D. And he actually had a really hard time, with Marvel as they're rewriting things constantly while they were shooting, and that was part of the decision why he did not return to direct Iron Man 3.
Interesting.
But obviously Favreau's still involved. He still plays Happy Hogan.
Yeah.
He actually has a producer credit on all of the Avengers movies. Also, so...
So I didn't get to be in the original Iron Man that we did, the first one, so I am going to just point out that his first appearance was in Tales of Suspense 39, where he was actually silver, like he is in the first one, and then eventually he gets the gold outfit. So it changes over time.
Okay. Hot Rod Red.
Hot Rod Red, yeah.
So we have, we're seeing Mickey Rourke here as, what's his name in this? Ivan something.
Anton, dang,
I think it's Ivan something.
I'm sorry, it's Ivan.
So
his father's Anton.
I believe this is actually a different version of Whiplash, because his original character, I think, was named Marco Scalodi. So
yeah, I think he might be a combination of a couple different villains.
Well, I mean, he's just Whiplash, but there's different in any comic book universe. There's different versions of characters. They're not always the same person every time. So
No, I remember leading up to this movie. This movie came out in May 2010. And I remember they probably announced his casting, I think, in early 2009, and The Wrestler had just come out, which was an amazing movie, Aronofsky's movie, and Mickey Rourke was nominated for an Oscar for that and everything. And I remember when they announced he was going to be the villain in the new Iron Man, I was very excited.
I was not a fan of that scream. It didn't feel very genuine.
Yeah.
I liked it for some reason. Think of the parallels, too, between Mickey and...
Vanko.
What's his name? Vanko, that's his name.
That's his father.
But his name's Ivan Vanko.
And Robert Downey Jr. both had questionable past.
They were big in the 80s, and then they went through some rough, maybe drug-fueled periods. But Robert Downey Jr., Mickey Rourke never rebounded as much as Robert Downey Jr. did. I mean, Mickey Rourke's still in things and stuff, but he still has reputation.
Yeah. And I want to also point out, this is two characters at the opposite end of the spectrum. Both father issues plays a big part in their motivations, but you have here... He's completely poor and wants that recognition. And then you have Tony Stark, who has all of that already. So it's cool to see that juxtaposition between these two characters. That's what I was so interested in.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Now, why is he so upset with Stark Industries?
As you see right there, his father just died. He just saw his blueprints for the arc reactor, which is the thing that Tony Stark created, apparently. But apparently the original blueprints were Howard Stark and his father
I see.
So he didn't get credit that he felt he deserved.
Yes.
Yeah.
So his father's died in the cave, pretty much.
Penniless, unknown, like many
Which
artists.
is that's what I was gonna say, Ryan. You've educated us on this a lot, talking about these people who should get credit for some of their creations, and
it plays pretty well into the movie. Agreed. Yeah, 100%.
So I think it was actually Mickey Rourke's idea to have him go all out, and Mickey Rourke really dove into this character with the Russian stuff and researching the tattoos. He visited a Russian prison. It was his idea for like the gold teeth and the cockatoo or parrot or whatever he has. And Mickey Rourke, I mean, he's kind of like a pretty intense actor. He really went all out for this. So
yeah, he's probably
Kevin Feige producing credit.
Matthew Libatique, the DP, wasn't he Darren Aronofsky's DP on like Pie?
Because I think he just shot Mother, and he shot a bunch of stuff.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we know it's the screenplay credit. The screenplay is written by Justin Theroux, who you might know as an actor from things like The Leftovers, which was one of the greatest shows ever on HBO. And he's now he's now in Maniac with Emma Stone and Jonah Hill on Netflix. But he wrote the screenplay for Tropic Thunder in 2008.
Yes.
And so Robert Downey Jr. actually recommended him to Marvel after their experience on Tropic Thunder, and then he wrote the screenplay for this. And he's also he's written like Zoolander 2 and a couple other movies here and there.
This is one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, it's a great opening.
It is a great opening.
I know it's Zoolander.
Going into
this
makes sense why he plays the DJ in Zoolander.
The old metal music from like the 80s.
Plays his DJ in Zoolander.
Oh.
Yeah, this is such a fun opening scene.
Iron Man personifies badassery, as far as I'm concerned, in every way.
Anytime you just blast AC/DC when you're doing something, like it's awesome.
And this is Iron Man, Tony Stark, coming off of the last movie where he's announced himself as Iron Man.
Yeah.
Now he's like reaping all the glory.
Yeah, right. And now he's this big
This is where Martin's narcissistic idea came from, because at first he does come off that way.
Yeah.
Before you learn he has empathy.
And just to explain, when I said this is my favorite scene, we are at the Stark Expo, which his father initiated way back in the day, and he just jumped out of that airplane and did the whole Iron Man like kind of superhero landing thing. So it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, which is cool because at first you think it's like a war zone that he's in, you know?
Yes. Yeah. And it's just fireworks.
Yeah, it's such a cool
But he gets
reveal.
hit by one of them, so it's kind of funny. But...
Yeah. I like the detail in that his suit of armor is scratched.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a sign of things to come, like over time.
Or the sign he only has one. He only uses a couple suits at this time.
Or
one, and it's the same one from last year. I mean, the last
movie.
That's possible too.
So this movie actually, I mean, the anticipation was high for this movie because in 2 years earlier, First Iron Man was a huge movie. We talked about it during that episode, and then you had The Incredible Hulk, which is a little bit smaller. But then, I mean, this was the first sequel in the MCU where you got to see some characters again. And yeah, this opened pretty big. I think at the time it opened, it was the 5th or 6th highest opening weekend of all time. 128 million it opened to. Went on to gross over 300 domestic, over 300 international, so over 600 million worldwide. It did have a budget of around 200 million, so it's very
big back then.
Compared to like 140 for the first one. So they gave a bigger budget, and it only ended up grossing a little bit more internationally. But
what is this? Is it, out of the three, this is the lowest profitable one? Three Iron Mans.
No, I think the third one opened. Didn't Iron Man 3 open to like 170 something million? It had a bigger.
No, it had a bigger.
Yeah, compared to the
Iron Man 3.
I'm not sure, but yeah. And so this one kind of ranks in the middle as far as grosses go. You know, of the MCU movies. And even with ratings like Rotten Tomatoes, it's like. I think it's third from the bottom. We talked about how Thor: The Dark World during Hulk, The Incredible Hulk is next from the bottom, and then this. But this still is like 73% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, yeah.
So it's still certified fresh, and yeah, we'll see. We'll watching it tonight. We'll see how it holds up and everything. You know.
The thing is, I mean, a couple issues. I did like this movie. I did like the story from this movie.
Yeah, I just got lost in the story. Like, I didn't know what I should pay attention to. I don't know. It just didn't feel like it was cohesive.
Yeah,
for me.
The MCU was still finding its footing.
That's what I was. I was about to say. For me, it was just early on. They're still finding their footing.
I think actually for most of the Phase 1 until you get to Avengers, because you're launching all these characters, and Avengers, you're able to bring them all together, and now obviously that movie worked.
Well, I definitely understand now what you say about the studio wanting to add in so many things to plant the seeds for so many different storylines and characters. That's what I feel when I watch this. Like I said, I love the first act, but then later on in the movie, it just feels like everything that we're watching is studio implemented.
But that's Feige's master plan, and it's paid
It's
off.
true.
Now we're 8 years later. So here we have the first appearance of John Slattery as Howard Stark, which we were talking about, the connection with the beer here. And he would go on to play this role, I think, 2 more times. You saw him. I don't think you saw him again till
Civil War. Not Civil War.
Oh no! Oh, and that flashback at the beginning of Civil War, and then you see him at the beginning of Ant-Man.
Yeah, you see him at the beginning of Ant-Man.
Yeah. And then Civil War, there's a lot of the flashbacks to the crash and when Bucky kills Stark's parents. Yeah, obviously they make him. This is very obvious, the connection to make him look like Walt Disney.
Oh my God!
There's Olivia Munn.
Right?
We have a couple of. I mean, no, she's
quick. What other Marvel?
Actually, you know something? It might have been because at the time she was a host for G4.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And this isn't this how she became like famous doing like that role in this movie? Didn't that like make her?
She became famous for being a hot girl on the Nerd Channel.
Okay.
That's what she became famous for.
So, guys, what other Marvel role did she play?
She played in X-Men.
Yes, X-Men Apocalypse.
Psylocke.
Yes.
8 years after this. No, 6. Sorry, 6 years after this.
Which do you know what role she was potentially up for when she took that?
I don't know. Oh, there's
Jean Grey?
She was
and
up
there
for...
was Stan Lee real quick.
Yeah, we did. We got the Stan Lee.
It was Stan Lee as Larry King.
So
actually.
do you remember
Right,
what
yes.
role? You don't know what she was up for?
I don't know.
She was up for Domino in the first Deadpool movie, and she
okay.
took Psylocke over that. Do you know why?
No.
Because she wanted to do something with more action. She thought that would build her
Yeah,
presence on screen more. Huge mistake because the role in Deadpool actually was a lot bigger ultimately.
Yeah.
Well,
They ended up cutting out a lot of stuff
They did.
in Apocalypse of her too.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Deadpool at the time, before it was a smaller movie. It only had like a $56 million
That's true.
budget. So she probably saw that too and said, "This is a bigger movie.
Oh.
This is like a smaller movie."
Was it only 56?
The first one is only
Really?
$56
Holy
million.
shit.
Yes.
That is small.
They
for
gave him
comic
crumbs.
movie.
They gave Ryan Reynolds crumbs as production.
Well, they didn't know if
crumbs.
that was going to work. Yeah.
That's true.
Like, that's why I let it be R, because it was like,
Yeah.
well, it's not that big of a risk.
So we just got you guys have a thing for
Redheads or
an
Mara?
actress.
Kate Mara. Just like Kate Mara in a small role.
And she's obviously
I mean-
been in another role that we know of.
So here we have Gary Shandling as Senator Stern,
Yes.
who we find out in Winter
Soldier.
Soldier.
I don't know if we
Yeah.
should say it though. Maybe we should wait.
Well, okay. Pause a moment if you don't know, but we find out.
Pause.
Well, I'll just skip ahead. But we don't find out till 4 years later that this character is actually a member of Hydra.
Yes.
And so that's why it makes sense his motivations here, wanting to take Tony Stark's armor away.
Correct.
You know, he wanted to probably get it for Hydra research.
But
Kinda adds a little
you could
extra
kind of
something.
understand it being played more of just like government versus independent.
Right.
Like,
Oh,
it
yeah,
makes
that's
sense.
exactly what it is.
Here's the
but
thing
yes.
we've been talking about the last couple podcasts. This is a modern movie, which this was not covered in Superman the movie from 1978, which we did last. But like here, of course, Tony Stark comes out with having technology, almost like a modern superhero, and he ends up in congressional hearings. That's modern day. You know, it's the government interference and stuff, and it's like this is just a rational. You know, this is what we expect to see in movies nowadays. The real world response to stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, here we have good old Sam Rockwell. Awesome, entertaining, and everything. Now Oscar winner Sam Rockwell after
Right.
3 billboards.
I like how when we cut back to the television cameras, look how grainy and it is. It's just such a different resolution.
And then, so Justin
Watch a
Hammer,
C-SPAN.
he's playing. What's the actor's name again?
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell. So he's playing Justin Hammer. Interesting. He didn't come in until Iron Man 120 in 1979. First appearance of Iron Man was in 1962 or 3.
Okay.
So he didn't come in for a long time later, and he really was. I mean, high level intellect. Interestingly, after he
Reigns
came into
versus
play,
Braun, which we
Reigns
talked
versus
about.
Braun.
Yeah.
Tony's still
He's
Braun,
great.
Reigns too,
Oh,
but when he came into play, a lot of the villains that Tony fought after his appearance in Iron Man 120 used his technology.
Yeah.
So he played a big role later on in the comics too.
Does he get like a villain name at all or no?
No, he's
He's
just
really
just-
transformed.
He's just a
into-
Hammer
Okay.
Industries.
Hammer
It's kind of
Industries.
like, And actually, in this in the MCU, his weapons do pop up a couple more times.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, they pop up in the weapons that they used in Luke Cage in the TV show.
Oh.
Industries. And they actually used them in Avengers of Shield. I mean, Agents of Shield.
Interesting.
Oh.
When they tried to do the hit on he was the Shield boss at the time last season.
Yeah.
They tried to do a hit. And
Oh,
they used one of the hammer guns that was actually in
Interesting.
Luke
I didn't notice
Cage.
that. Oh,
Nice.
here we have
I love this line. He
The
says,
first appearance of Terrence Howard.
Oh.
Did
No more
you
teary- no
Greer
more
already?
teary-eyed, no more teary-eyed Terrence. No,
you
Don
Greer gated
Cheadle.
with someone physically there. Like, how do you do that?
No, that was on purpose.
So yeah, nobody's officially said kind of. Nobody really knows what happens with Terrence Howard, but I think he was actually the highest paid actor in the first Iron Man because he's the first one cast, and then they tried to get him to take less money for the sequel, and I think it was a pay dispute. So
It was
Don
definitely a
Cheadle
pay
came
dispute.
in and-
I didn't
yeah,
know.
that makes
I didn't
sense.
know. if
But
he
we
was highest
talked about
ever,
this during Iron
that's
Man, but
true.
I don't know. I think I like Cheadle better.
I like Cheadle more too, to be honest.
Maybe we've seen him in more movies now, but Cheadle just can be funny, and we said Terrence Howard is such a serious actor that I don't know.
The thing is, I will say, I mean, I like Cheadle better. Just gotta like Cheadle better. I think
He's more fun to
after
watch.
watching him and how he plays how he plays Rhodes later on in the
Seems
movies,
very
I like him
genuine.
better. But I would have liked to see what Terrence Howard would have done.
I like the line that he says,
Rob.
"It's me. I'm here. Let's move on."
I
He's
think
saying
that's a
that.
subtle.
But he's
subtle
saying
nod.
that for
Yeah.
the audience watching.
It's me now.
Yes,
Move on.
yes,
yeah.
Not make a big deal. Yeah, no, that's pretty clever.
It's, so they're talking to the Senate.
Really, really fun
Well,
stuff
really.
on C-SPAN.
This is the best part when
This is so
Tony just
good.
whips Justin Hammer.
But I know you're right, Martin. They do a really good job in this with cutting between the film footage and
Mhm.
the TV footage.
Yeah.
A lot of movies it just look so fake. Just the graphics when they make it look. But this looks like you're actually watching C-SPAN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Tony uses his technology to embarrass.
It's so great too how you see that friendship here developed. Like he's here to testify against his best friend, but then at the same time they have still that mutual respect for one another. And he laughs at him when he actually does this, when he actually takes over the footage.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying that in the scene he's showing that the Senate wants the Iron Man suit. They want obviously they want the Iron Man suit for the government. They say it's a weapon, we need it, and that all these other countries are about to have this weapon, so we need to have it too. Well, Tony Stark has showed he kind of hijacked the screen and showing what everyone actually is doing.
Yeah.
And no one's close to the technology yet.
Right.
But they've been pitching it as like, oh well, they're doing it and they're close, so we need your Iron Man suit. He pretty much just defunct their argument.
Ryan, now is this something that happens in the comic books? Like, do we get I know Civil War and the chords and things like that. That's stuff drawn from the source material, right?
Civil War that was a new storyline. But do you mean like this happening here? I don't
With the
think
suit
so. No.
and okay.
Yeah, no, I don't. At least not early on. I don't
Like the
think
government
this
getting
happened.
involved. Yeah, because this is pre-Sokovia Accords, so
Yeah.
it almost seems like they're trying to regulate things already. But see, at this point, Thor hasn't visited Earth yet. They haven't unthawed Captain America.
Well, and what I find what's interesting in the first 3 Iron Man movies, the villains are like you get the Islamic terrorists in the first one, and the second one, even in this early phase, it's like, oh, look what Iran has, look what North Korea has. It still feels very real. Later on, it's all about freaking aliens and like beings with massive
Very
powers.
real
Like
world,
it really changes. It's just interesting. It feels very real still in these early Iron Man movies.
Yes,
but
Iron Man was very much. I think
Hulk.
we talked about this maybe a little during that episode. Iron Man was very post 9/11 movie.
Yes.
We needed that. You had to start out real. You couldn't automatically jump to demons and goblins. I think
that too.
That's something what DC could have learned.
You had to
from.
ground it first. Yeah.
Right. In fact, I think it's a risk for him to do. It was a risk for him to do that too, because Thor was a risk, and that was kind of the first movie that they took out into space. That was in a whole other realm.
Right.
Before it came to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, it all started to come together in Avengers.
So slowly, I started to get more and more anxiety with the Marvel Universe as it expanded outside of Earth.
That's when Marvel gets nervous when the movies go into space.
No, just like Guardians of the Galaxy was a risk. Being all in space.
Yeah.
Oh, this is when Jarvis was still just a voice. And he didn't have a body yet.
Well, no.
Just a little robotic arm.
Well, that's not Jarvis. That's the whole.
Well, Jarvis
robot.
runs the whole thing.
Yeah, we still get
whatever.
Yeah, no, we can still get Jarvis.
What's the actor's name?
Paul Bettany. I still think it's cool that Paul Bettany was cast in the first one, 2008, and then you didn't see Paul Bettany in person until Age of Ultron, right? So for 7 whole years, he was just a voice in the movies.
I wonder if he knew that was going to happen.
Kept the same actor. Yeah, I don't know if they promised him, someday down the line in the MCU, we'll see your face.
Because Paul Bettany wasn't the biggest actor, but he's known and respected in the industry.
Yeah, people know who he is. Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
What's the first thing you saw him in? First thing I remember him was
Beautiful Mind.
Beautiful Mind.
A Knight's Tale.
A Knight's Tale.
That was my first one, yeah.
He was in that. Wasn't he in Wimbledon?
Yeah. Oh, Wimbledon! Yes, love that movie.
I first remember him from what's that Dan Brown book? I can't think of the name.
Da Vinci
Code.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. He was in the Da Vinci Code.
He was in that. Okay, that's probably my earliest remembrance.
I do remember him that too. Yeah.
Okay, so Tony. So yeah, he's getting slowly poisoned by his arc reactor, right? That's the.
Yes, because what the arc reactor runs on, it's actually poisoning it.
Which I'm pretty sure that was created for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't recall anything like that happening.
Yeah, you gotta add some stakes.
Oh no, I think that was just for this movie.
Because Rhodey has a suit.
But he doesn't have the thing inside of him though, so it's different.
I mean, do you need so
no, you don't need it.
Iron Man doesn't, or Tony Stark doesn't need what he has in his chest. Like he could run. He doesn't need that just for the suit. There's a suit without that.
In the beginning, that's what powers the suit, like in the first one. But as he progresses, he learns how to create the technology of the suit without needing it.
The arc reactor is actually in the suit. Like when you see when you see all the things, the arc reactor's in the suit. Yeah. So his arc reactor obviously is saving his life because it's keeping the shards from going into his heart. It's still a magnet in there.
Yeah.
But the other suits have the arc reactor in them already.
In the suits, yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's why later on he doesn't need it once he fixes it.
I think that changed from the first one to this one because in the first one there was still a power issue. I really feel like that was more about him draining himself, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
Well, no, yeah, in the first one he just developed it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this one apparently, from what I remember, I can't remember the alloy, but it's the alloy that it runs on now, and that alloy is poisoning him.
Yeah.
Slowly.
I just thought
so. He's been trying to find a different way to run that.
Well, that's a big part of the storyline from this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought of something. Is this the only MCU movie, not counting Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'll say in a moment, but where, again, because it was early on, they're still figuring out the naming conventions of sequels. It's just Iron Man 2. It's not Iron Man : something.
Right.
None of the other movies do that. Guardians of the Galaxy is different because it's Volume 1 and Volume 2, which correspond to the cassette tapes that are in the movie. Yeah. This is just naming a sequel. This is the second. This is Iron Man 2.
I think
they didn't do that with any of the other movies, right?
Yeah,
so that's why if you looked at a list
of the sequels, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So like if you looked at a list of like MCU titles, this one would actually stand out because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, if they had been later in the MCU, I'm sure they would have been like Iron Man, I don't know.
What would be the second
title for something? This? Iron Man Whiplash. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
Oh, that's a common trait of narcissists too. They hurt the people that they love, right? So he's trying here, but he doesn't necessarily know how to show emotion and know how to connect with people because he's missing that relationship that he didn't get with his father. That's so interesting how you just see Tony Stark's lack of compassion because he didn't get that when he was younger.
Right.
So good.
About the it just made me think as he was just walking through all the holograms and stuff in his lab there. So guess Jon Favreau, I think it was, who said in the first movie they really pushed the boundaries as far as technology went. Things that weren't possible in 2008, and they had heard while they were prepping this one that that actually inspired a lot of tech people, which I think happens in pop culture a lot. People see things in movies, like in Star Wars movies or sci-fi movies, inspires them to actually make the things in real life. So Jon Favreau said there was a little bit of pressure when they made this movie. He's like, all right, well, if we just leave the bar where we set it for the first movie, we're going to be behind. We're going to be behind now because people are already trying to do these things. So we need to set the bar even higher in this one. So they advanced some of Tony's technologies, and actually, we're watching this 8 years after it came out.
Right. It
still looks futuristic, even though it's supposed to be a modern movie. Yeah. The hologram, it doesn't look dated yet. It might be 40 years before the technology in this looks dated, but it still seems like it fits within the world of his technology and stuff like that, so it still works.
Well, can you tell the people to get on the hoverboard people to get on this?
Okay.
Because we have yet to get a hoverboard.
Let's on a hoverboard.
Here we go. What are we seeing, Ryan?
I just want to point out first. So we have Pepper Potts and Happy Hogan really quick, and I want to point out because no one got to hear this in the first movie because I wasn't in it. First appearance for my comic book fans out there was Tales of Suspense 45. So they actually both appeared 6 issues later after the first Iron Man and together. Now we have Scarlett Johansson playing Natasha Romanoff, who that's not who she goes by right here. Does anyone know who her name is?
Natalie. She goes by Natalie. Ramson or something. Yeah.
I mean, she's very Russian in the comics. She is Russian, but she doesn't come off Russian in the movies because it's.
Well, she's supposed to be like she's been trained.
Yeah. and she is, of course, Black Widow, which the first appearance was Tales of Suspense 52. So we get a lot of the characters in this are in the actual first issues that Iron Man appeared in. In a lot of other movies with the other characters, that actually tends to not happen.
Interesting.
No, this is cool. See, this is her first appearance in the MCU. Think about all the movies she's been in since then, and her hair is different in every single movie she appears in, which is great. Which makes sense because of her lifestyle of being a spy.
Happy Hogan had no idea what he was going up against here in this boxing match.
Yeah, like, it's the girl from Lost in Translation,
right?
And she just
it's the
totally
girl
kicks
from
his
Big
ass
Score.
From what?
The Score, I think. The Big Score? Was it that teenage movie about them go in and steal the SAT scores?
Oh, my God.
So I guess you get the NR.
Natalie Rushman.
Natalie
Rushman. That's her, her code name in this one.
Can we talk about how fit Happy Hogan looks?
Oh, what are these pictures?
This is her cover story. But yes, he's looking up her MySpace time at this time, or is this Facebook time still?
Yeah, I don't even know. Whoa, there we go. Oh, Jon Favreau just got.
I would love to know who she trained with. Did she do her own stunts?
She didn't do that.
She did not do that.
Yeah, she probably didn't do that.
There's no way she did that head scissors.
Okay, so that was a wig that someone was wearing. A different stunt for her.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson really wanted this role. She dyed her hair that shade of red
she did
for
dye
her audition, and maybe even more so for her audition. I'm not sure what her natural is. Maybe that is more.
It's so crazy to think
she really wanted it.
It's so crazy to think that these stars that we're watching still have to audition. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, if you're signing a multi-picture deal, which I think she did, you want to make sure you get it right.
Yeah.
You got a screen test, make sure there's.
So I'll be honest. When I was watching this movie, I still did not know who she was.
Oh, really?
I did not know that was Black Widow in the movie. I don't
know.
I don't know if it was portrayed in the credits in advance, but I did not know.
Yeah, there was a later on trailer that kind of showed her fighting, but
okay. I must have missed it or something because I did not realize that was her when I first saw the movie back in the day.
Oh, I had no idea. Yeah.
But the thing is, I knew Black Widow a little bit, but I didn't know what the prominence would be of this in this.
I was so excited for this scene. Yeah. I remember watching the trailers holy shit.
This was
he's going heads up with Whiplash in a car race, and he's just hitting in cars left and right, just destroying them. As someone who was into racing, this is big for me. This is one of the reasons why I actually went to go see the movie.
And it happened really quick too. I feel like I don't know how far we're into the movie now.
We're not that far into the movie.
We're about 25 minutes, and we're getting introduced for the first villain. Hero fight pretty soon.
Hey, it's a sequel. You don't need to spend too much time on setting up. Just a couple minutes on the new villain, and that's
set up the new storyline. That's it.
Yeah, your hero's good. You know who he is.
Get moving. Hey, we got a little peek from Elon Musk.
Oh yeah!
Holy crap! That is Elon Musk.
He just launched. Did you guys see that Falcon 9 launch on Sunday night?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Did you see it? That was
I didn't see it.
I
saw it. Yeah.
They launched one of the new rockets from the Vandenberg Air Force Base
near
LA.
You've seen San Diego too.
Where did it launch from?
Is it Vandenberg up past Santa Barbara? That's where they launched.
See, I heard different stories. I heard large from Argentina. I heard large from
Florida. No, it's Vandenberg.
Okay.
Actually, some of the when you see Hammer's warehouse later in this movie, that was actually all shot down in Hawthorne, California, not too far from here in LA, at the SpaceX plant.
Okay.
At Elon Musk's SpaceX plant where they assemble all these things. So that was opened back in 2009-ish when they were filming this, and that serves as Hammer's warehouse.
Played by?
That's a fun little cameo.
Who are you talking about?
Justin Hammer?
Yeah, played by Sam Rockwell.
That's right. I keep forgetting his name.
Oh,
that's
okay.
I think Sam Rockwell's suit's better than Tony's.
That's pimping right now. And we have return of Leslie Baird, the reporter from the first one.
Oh, okay. Does she
an
pop up later?
Well, she was
in the MCU?
I think she does.
Does she?
Everhart? Is that her name? Christine Everhart?
I think she was just in the first one and then this one.
She's in the first one and this one. That's the only ones I remember her from.
I can't remember. Leslie Bibb? Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to confirm.
At this point, I was really invested in the relationship between Pepper and Tony.
Me too.
Yeah, I was so the peril she feels when she's out there in the car with him, that really got me.
Oh, what do you mean when he's in the car?
Yeah,
Well,
he's in the car later on.
I think their relationship definitely builds from one movie to the next, and I think by this one you definitely start to feel it more and more. And
well, at the end of it,
this
this is the one where they actually get together. So it's the last time we get to see him as a playboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about that camera trick, people.
Huh?
Like, people shoot very uniquely now when they're shooting what's supposed to be a mirror. Like, there was a double there for that one, most likely needed. It's pushed in because there's no reflections at all.
Yeah. It's cool when they do in-camera stuff. I mean, you can easily digitally erase like a camera and a mirror or something now, but...
Yeah.
I actually have a funny Sam Rockwell story.
Serious.
I was
Personal?
Yeah. I was at a like a barbecue restaurant in Burbank about 6-7 years ago.
Here in Burbank, where we're at right now?
Yeah, in Burbank. Yeah, actually in Burbank. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but it was one that I was frequenting. Oh no, I'm sorry, Studio City. It was in Studio City.
Gotcha.
Studio City is another city in the San Fernando Valley, and I was in there just ordering like normal, and he walked in, and I normally don't like to talk to famous people. I just don't like to bother him, but I couldn't help myself because I love Sam Rockwell. So I talked to him, and I had rented a Corvette at the time because I used to do that on weekends occasionally to drive to Santa Barbara, and he noticed it, and he was like, "Oh, have I seen you before?" So Sam Rockwell asked me if he had seen me before, and I was like,
all fancy.
Probably was the Corvette, but I was like, no, I've just been some like background stuff. but it was kind of cool because Sam Rockwell thought he recognized me or something, so I had to point that out.
She'd been like, do you know who my father is?
Yeah,
I directed you in this movie. I don't know. You can pretend to be anybody.
Remember the movie Moon? I was there with you.
So I just looked up Leslie Bibb did not appear in any other MC movie after this. Says
yeah, that's right.
I could have sworn I saw her. Maybe it's because we just watched Iron Man not that long ago.
Probably.
So is Tony an experienced race car
He is
driver?
not.
He's experienced everything.
No, he is not. He owns a car. He sponsored this car, so he walked out in a race and said, "You know, Sam, I'm going to drive in the Monaco Speedway." And he fired the actual driver, as you saw when he was on television, and just decided to drive.
Yeah.
So they were supposed to film a lot more, I think, at the actual Monaco Speedway, but then their permission got revoked at the last moment. So they ended up just getting some exterior shots and digitally adding in a lot of this stuff after. With the
all those
racing.
cars are digital.
Now this actually part of the track where Mickey Rourke we're seeing is about to step out, and his face off with his whips against Tony Stark. This was actually filmed down in Downey, California, not too far away from it. There was a studio called the Downey Studios where they filmed a lot of movies up until about... and it got demolished in 2012. Now it's a shopping center, but this is in the parking lot of the Downey Studios, not in Monaco.
This is great. It's so great, like that push in the pepper. She knows.
Yeah, she can feel it.
Shit's going down.
And Hammer knows right there.
Hammer don't know.
But you don't know Hammer knows.
Oh.
Hammer knows, but we don't know Hammer knows.
Hammer doesn't know, but he's ready to know.
I thought Hammer brought him in.
No, that doesn't happen until later on.
No, he's been in Russia. He just built this. He just built this.
Hammer is tired of being the brunt of jokes.
It reminded me of Morpheus in The Matrix Reloaded when he stands in front of the SUV with the
sword.
With the sword.
Yeah.
Amazing.
How'd this guy live?
That's great.
I do not know.
I always love seeing car crashes and in movies like this. Not necessarily in real life.
Okay, I just got to mention this. So Hogan's carrying the Iron Man suit. He's in a briefcase. Think about how far... So, like I talked about, they want to advance the technology. Think about what the Iron Man suit is now. It's nanoparticles.
Yes, yeah.
Or even before that, Tony could call the... I love that in the later movies where he calls the suits remotely from, his base or whatever, and they fly halfway across the world. And now it's nanoparticles. Hogan had to carry around in a suitcase.
And in the first Avengers movie, when he gets thrown out of the glass by Loki towards the end, it's like the thing on his wrist. That
right. So I love that that's actually really cool. You see, that's one piece of technology that you see just advance throughout the MCU as time goes on.
Oh yeah, and in Infinity War when he develops the Iron Spider suit.
Yeah,
he just calls it, and the Spider it just homes to Spider-Man.
I love that part
in the middle of the sky.
The progression is very cool indeed.
Here's the money shot, the explosions behind Whiplash
as he's walking.
It's a very Michael Bay shot tonight.
No, the camera would be low angle under Mickey Rourke.
Low angle looking up.
That was a Michael Bay shot.
One of my favorite explosion shots is Con Air, where it explodes and all the comics are walking away. But there's that one guy that gets scared and looks back.
I do remember that.
Maybe okay. So my question is here: how often do we see a villain get beat like towards that first act? For me, like maybe this is one of the reasons why I wasn't so strong going towards
You're
the
right.
end.
We're not that far into the movie, and he's already facing off with the main villain.
Right, and doesn't lose. Like our hero
Good point.
loses, and then we want to see him return and be triumphant.
Well, and I think that's because this movie was clearly not meant to be a hero versus villain movie. Ultimately, that's not the main goal of this. It was about Tony figuring out stuff that he still needed to figure out with himself.
Right.
So that's where the success comes in the end, and that's where he needs to.
I feel like that's part of the first movie too. Like it wasn't just like him against Jeff Bridges. It was
if
him
you
against himself.
If you think about it, the villain is his disease that he's going through. That's really the villain.
Yeah,
he cures it in the end. So
I mean, the reason he even decided to do this is because he's just living. He has this like death mentality right now. It's like I'll just do anything I want.
True.
Yeah.
That's why he just jumps into the Monaco speed race.
Yeah. Oh, good old Happy to the rescue.
I wouldn't want to mess with Mickey Rourke. He's kind of scary.
Especially a bunch of
this is great.
Power lines. He's throwing around.
You get some solid comedic humor right here from Pepper.
I never liked Pepper so much.
We'll see how much she nags him in this one. Apparently, that was something I guess.
Well, she nagged
And
him.
he's acting like everything's cool.
He's just walking slowly.
I know.
I have to say, Whiplash's suit kind of takes on Dr. Octopus's suit a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I can see it.
If you remember, like the back, the way they were moving a little bit,
I
the
don't
spinal
love
cord.
this effect. I
Hit him again! Hit him again! Happy's so funny. The door keeps on slamming.
don't know. Jon Favreau's so good in that role.
He was.
So much tension here. It just reminds me of Super 8 when the little kid that's directing, he's like, we need to add a woman into it. I don't know why, but it just adds so much more to it.
There he goes. I see. The briefcase is the suit.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah. But I remember thinking even that was really cool.
It could only get cooler from here. If we only knew. I don't know where you go from nanoparticles unless they're like embedded into his body going forward.
Oh, he pushes the car aside like a ball.
It's like out the way.
I don't. The suit kind of has
it's a lightweight
look
suit.
every time we see Iron Man, he's kind of got in a new movie. He's got a different looking suit too, which is cool.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so the Whiplash thing could cut the car in half, but it doesn't slice Iron Man.
Actually, they're slicing him. You see a slice in his
I
chest.
guess, but
his metal should be made out of something stronger than just the car.
scars. Yeah, I guess.
But it is slicing him up
How
because
come
it's the same technology. He's using his original arc reactor technology his father developed.
Now I know we'll talk about the SHIELD Easter egg when we get to it. I don't think we saw that yet.
No, not yet.
Right, but how did Tony have access to vibranium, and why didn't he just make the Iron Man suit out of that?
Well, he did not have access to vibranium,
He did not,
and that shield is not. It was only like a prototype. It was only like.
But how did they get the vibranium to make the Captain America stuff in the 40s?
Oh, well, they said which they mentioned. They mentioned when it was stolen by. It was what's his name? The bad guy, Claw. It was Claw. It was stolen by Claw years ago.
Yeah.
And so some of it got out into the world.
Okay. I see. But something else must have leaked it out though in the 40s during World War II.
Oh,
that's
just something.
Yeah. I don't know. Just wondering.
Because what they told when after Claw's robbery, they said that was all the vibranium.
Well, Claw's much later, but yes, this is true. In the first Captain America movie, there is a moment where Tony's father at the time, played by whatever the actor was, he does say something.
Cooper.
He's like, "This is the rarest metal on Earth," and he somehow got his hand on a little bit of it. I don't remember how. But
okay, well,
he mentions
we'll see that when we revisit Captain America.
Yeah.
So the villain is defeated here.
Defeated.
He's defeated. That's
interesting.
Defeated. You're right. That was like the big marketing moment.
That's the big villain
for this movie, and it's it's like over already. We're like 37 minutes into this movie, and it's like over.
Then we get the Joker Batman.
The Dark Knight interrogation. Green lights.
Where are they? Where are they?
That is kind of a funny scene.
Where's the trigger?
Well, Whiplash facing down the car is almost like Batman facing down the semi truck.
Right.
Yep.
In Dark Knight. That's true. This was 2 years after the Dark Knight.
Tony Stark looks like a grown-up Justin Bieber here with that haircut.
That's called hat hair. He just took his helmet
got
off.
A Brad Pitt. It's like, look, his hair's sticking straight up like Brad Pitt style.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt in the 90s. It's interesting.
And,
Look,
Yeah,
I
love
love the
for him.
respect that he shows here for Anton or whatever his name is.
Ivan.
Ivan. Something Russian.
Who's
Well, his father was Anton.
Anton's his father that
Okay.
died at the beginning of the movie,
Ivan
which
Danko.
fueled this whole rage
Yes.
against
Right.
Tony Stark.
I just remember Nick Fury talking about Anton. He'll do that a little bit later in this movie, if I
Yeah.
remember.
It's because Anton and Howard Stark developed the ARC technology first,
Yeah.
and what you'll find out is that Anton got cut out.
So you're not supposed to really, you don't really get the sense that like Sam Rockwell's going to turn out to be the big villain of this movie yet, do you? Or is that kind of like that's a little bit of a twist, because maybe that's a surprise. Oh, he defeated Whiplash already, but this other character is going to really be his opponent.
Well, just to be clear, Tony created the arc reactor while he was stuck and held captive.
Yeah.
I don't think Anton. I think he created something separately by himself. Tony just did it first.
No, he did, yeah.
Well, no. At the very beginning
That's
of the
what
movie,
it
they
shows.
show the blueprints
He's
for the
looking at
arc
the blueprint.
reactor.
Yeah,
It's
but
this arc
he didn't
reactor.
create it with him because Tony did it in the first movie when he was held captive.
Well, yeah,
as a
no,
terrorist. That's
it's the
what I'm saying.
blueprints, which you'll find out later
Yeah.
on that he looked. He's that the
But they didn't do it
that
together.
his
though.
father said that, like, listen, I'm the technology of this time. I can't finish a lot of the stuff that you're going to figure out later
Yeah.
on. in
Right.
life.
Yeah.
He does say that in one of the movies later on. So it's kind of like there's the original ideas which he couldn't make.
Yeah.
But I felt like there was this notion that like it was stolen or something, and that's not possible. So,
Well,
Who thinks it was stolen? Like,
yeah, that's what I
The-
think he thinks. But
gotcha.
well, he thinks that like because it came out and his father grew up penniless in the cave.
Mhm.
It's like his family was robbed by the Starks.
right,
mm.
it's not true.
See, okay, I give Pepper. Pepper can be nagging here. Pepper was there. She saw everything that transpired. Everything is still new. Villainy is still new here. Like, I
She
get
was
it.
right there watching him almost get killed by
Uh-huh.
this crazy person, yeah.
But by the time Avengers happen and there's aliens, Pepper, you gotta let it go.
yeah.
Right.
The whole Earth, needs to be saved here, yeah. Humanity.
Peppa.
But think about, think about the cops that go out and risk their lives every night. Like, how must those wives feel knowing that there's a chance their husband might not come
Right.
back? Or husbands that their wife might come back if they're
Yeah,
cops
she
as
has a
well.
right to be worried, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But, gotta let him do his thing. I'll let him save the world.
With every great superhero, there's usually a great love interest, and that is certainly Pepper for Iron Man. So
Unless you're Hulk and you have many.
that's true too.
Hulk is the biggest pimp in the Avengers universe.
Hulk is pimping.
God, it's so interesting. It ended up being him and ScarJo and not Betty Ross still in the later.
Well,
movie.
I mean, I think they didn't work Betty Ross in,
I know they didn't.
and his adventure, and
Like, so here, like, I don't know if I want to see this relationship conversation between these two. Like, I
Between
want to know
Pepper and
more.
Tony?
Pepper and Tony, right? I don't. My mind isn't here. My mind is back at what the threat is.
well, no, they're not.
We
They're actually
haven't-
talking about the threat. There's no relationship talk right here.
Well, I get that. I'm saying I don't want to see the
You have
relationship.
to build
between
the
these
character
two.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is more about her being worried for him.
And,
Yeah,
and
she just
actually,
saw him
and
in
builds-
danger. No, I
Yeah.
and actually, him talking to Ivan was kind of like the closing of the actual action scene.
Yeah.
So now we get to see Justin Hammer's role in all this. Obviously, him seeing someone finally challenge the great Tony Stark because he could never do it. So he wants to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And he gives Ivan a little help in the jail cell to get out.
It's like that note with Magneto. Mind the glass.
Yeah.
Enjoy the potatoes.
Potatoes.
That's
Same
what this
thing.
one is. What is that?
Oh, it's like a plastic
Plastic
explosive.
explosive,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's boy.
They get a look-alike, classic look-alike case.
Classic case of lookalike.
This guy
Did
knows
he
he's
know?
evil.
I was like, God damn it.
He's like, shit, I'm dead. Even the number's the same on his suit.
Yeah.
He's like, God damn it. I thought I was going for a
It's
shower.
like,
I'm a patsy.
I mean, they looked at their suits just for us. Thanks, guys. They know what numbers they are.
Oh,
Wow.
Ivan's a good
This
fighter.
is all set up.
Uh-huh.
Those don't look like potatoes.
Oh, I thought he needed the explosives to blast the wall to get out. It's just to cover up the evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
people
you
think
think
he's
it's
dead. So they find the charred remains of the look-alike. I see.
What does he say here?
He's speaking Russian.
Yeah.
He just let him out.
The guy looks like
he's
Oscar
in
It's
Isaac.
a whole different guy.
No,
Different
they're
guy.
in France. He's French. It's from Monte Carlo.
racist.
Yeah.
It looked like the same guy.
It did not look like the same guy.
All CEOs don't look the same. That's the guy right there.
Yeah, there
Oh,
he is.
yeah, you're right.
You know what's a great prison breakout scene is the beginning of Mission Impossible. Was it Rogue Nation?
Haven't seen it.
When
I've seen
Tom
it, but I can't
Cruise
remember it.
breaks out of the prison.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
We'll watch it in the backyard.
I feel like I need to read up on the comics because I want to know if Justin Hammer was this. He seems like a kind of like an idiot to me in this movie, like in a funny way, but like he's just kind of like the guy
He's
who's
a very showy. This is a very Lex Luthor-y thing now. It's all fancy dinners set up in the middle of like a hangar.
He's just trying so hard every time, and I have to wonder if he was really like that in the comics too. I gotta see for it at some point, but. Actually, if anyone knows, any comic book fans out there, if you could chime in and tell me if he was like that, because I don't know.
Yeah,
Ryan has not read every issue of every comic book ever, so...
Many I have not read, I
so, he might not know.
It's cool to see Rockwell in this, because that's a testament, like, everything that you do in life, there is possibly something positive that can come for it. Yeah. He auditioned for Iron Man to play Tony Stark.
Oh, he did?
Didn't get it. And look where he's at now. He's playing a main... Like, this helped put him on a map.
He's pretty much playing the evil version of Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Because that's...
No, he is. He's his...
It's definitely true.
His opposite in every way.
He's like a rich weapons developer. Yeah.
Well, in the comic books, I mean, that's what he was supposed to be. He's supposed to be set up like the Tony Stark... This Tony Stark opposite. So in business, he's his nemesis.
Interesting that there's, two of the most most rich superheroes. There's Bruce Wayne, and then there's Tony Stark.
And
so
Black
Tony
Panther.
Stark, and Black Panther, but Tony Stark has
Oliver Queen.
Has what's his
Oliver
face?
Queen,
Has Hammer.
Who's Oliver Queen?
And then
he's Green Arrow in DC.
Oh.
And then what's his face? Bruce Wayne has
Lex Luthor. No, that's Superman.
No. Bruce Wayne has what's his face?
The Joker?
Daggett. John Daggett.
Oh, Daggett.
Daggett.
Yeah.
That kind of both want to be the Hammer wants to be Tony Stark.
I can see that parallel.
Daggett wants to be Bruce Wayne.
Was that character portrayed in the movies or anything?
The third one.
Yeah, the third one in Dark Knight Rises.
Who plays him in that?
I can't remember that guy.
The villain from Ready Player One.
Yes.
Oh, Ben Mendelsohn?
Yes, him,
I forgot he was in Dark Knight Rises, I guess. And Rogue One, also. Ben Mendelsohn, same guy, right? Okay.
You love that
He plays a lot of villains. He's the villain in the new, I saw the trailer for this. There's a new Robin Hood movie coming out. He's like the sheriff of Nottingham. Bad guy.
Oh, wow.
He's
a great
he plays
actor.
a lot of villains, yeah.
Kind of a not memorable role as Daggett, quite frankly.
Oh, yeah. I forgot he was in that,
But he was
honestly.
in it,
Okay.
I was fascinated by Daggett because I remember seeing Daggett in the comics somewhere. Like I always tell this to you, Ryan. Like it's so cool to kind of know about these characters. Then you have that backstory of the source material, and you tell us all of the information about who this character was. So it's kind of cool to see how they went from that comic book character to what we see in the cinematic world. So it's really cool to see.
Unless it's Justin Hammer, which I don't know, unfortunately.
Right.
And I'm depending on my comic book brethren out there to give me a little help in this one if they want to.
We need to call Kyle in. You can call Kyle in from Black Cat Comics.
Yeah, maybe, she probably would know, actually.
So we're seeing Scarlet again. Now, so this they considered a few people for Black Widow. Actually, their first choice was Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt was supposed to do it, but she had scheduling conflicts with Gulliver's Travels.
Interesting.
Was that Jack Black?
That was Jack Black. Yeah,
that came out the same year.
She saved us.
So I mean, think about that. Emily Blunt could still be playing. Obviously, she's gone on to play some pretty kick-ass characters.
Well, do you remember that
Edge
role?
of Tomorrow and
Edge of Tomorrow. That's what I was going to say.
Quiet
She was
Place
awesome
and
in
other
that.
things. And Mary Poppins.
She'll probably. I mean, judging by the people who like second choices and whatnot, is that a theme that we see for these movies? At some point, they're going to be. Like at some point they'll probably be in the universe somewhere.
But Emily Blunt wasn't an action star, and actually Scarlett wasn't either. So they were looking because other people that were considered. They consider some women known for their action roles, like you had Angelina Jolie, I believe, Jessica Biel, a few other people. But
Really,
I think it was almost Emily Blunt. Just wasn't for scheduling stuff. So
she's in my top 10.
Oh yeah, Emily Blunt's great.
Who's the actress in the movie Monster?
Charlize Theron.
I think Charlize Theron actually could have been a great Scarlet.
Well,
she's done a lot of action, Atomic Blonde.
Yeah, exactly.
No, she's good, but
she would have overpowered the role.
Yeah.
Like I think Terrence Howard overpowered the role of Rhodey a little bit.
I
I feel like the same thing would have been happened here for what's her face from Monster.
Well, actually, this is the
Oh,
great.
you think so?
That's the great thing about casting a girl who doesn't maybe look like an action star or wasn't known for that, like Scarlett at the time, because like that first scene, like Happy Hogan doesn't know she's about to kick his ass in the ring, and then obviously you learn how badass she becomes, but you don't really see that. Here she's. This is maybe the only movie I forgot. Every other movie we see her in now, she's always in like her like spandex, leather, tight, her like action outfits. Here she's like dressed like a businesswoman in heels and stuff, like the you know what I mean, like in skirts and stuff.
Well, I would say
she's
Winter
like
Soldier is a big chunk of time where she's
I guess that's true.
civvies.
But like here, you're not supposed to really know the extent of her.
Well, now, she
To
don't
be
know
clear,
her.
that's how she was first introduced into the comic books. When in her first appearance in Tales of Suspense 52, she's wearing a dress on the front cover. So
Really?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
kind of makes sense, I guess. That they
Well,
would
she's a
introduce
spy,
her.
so hey.
Yeah, exactly. She's a spy.
She's tricked us too.
Yeah, she tricked us. But then she becomes a badass after this and later on. So yeah.
I like that Tony Stark here is confiding in Rhodey. Like, this is also, if you think Tony Stark is a narcissist, he's not, because he's confiding in his friends and saying that he has a problem, and he's admitting it. So people are so quick to call Tony Stark a narcissist, but no.
So I think we're in Hammer's factory, which is the space.
Whittier or Downey?
These might be in Hawthorne. I think some of those might have been actual like spacecraft rocket boosters in the background.
Oh wow!
You know what I mean? Because
Elon
there's
Musk
actually
probably just gave him stuff.
Well, you film in these warehouses. There's big stuff. Obviously, these Iron Man looking drone suit things that we're looking at now are made for the movie. But I think a lot of the stuff in the back, I think there were actually employees back there.
I mean, everything looks practical there. There doesn't look anything. There's nothing
no green
digital.
screen. This is an actual giant factory.
See, this is what I'm saying. In the comics, he is like genius level intellect, and he's a weapons expertise. Justin Hammer, and he seems like baffled by everything that's happening right now with Ivan and him being able to hack them. Like that shouldn't happen, I feel like. But that is the unique difference between the cinematic universe and the comics sometimes, is they will change characters up, in my opinion, a little bit.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think they have to change stuff up just to make it a little more real and fit in the story.
Well, people like me won't know the difference.
Yeah,
people.
I think it plays better into the him versus Tony thing. So
There can only be one smart guy to fight Tony.
Right.
If the Russian dude's smart and then the other guy, Hammer's smart as well, it's,
Also, let's be honest, Sam Rockwell does play humor and comedy really
well.
Oh,
yeah. Sam Rockwell's fantastic,
I was watching him in Frost Nixon today.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
So good.
He's playing George W. Bush in that new Dick Cheney movie by Adam McKay, Vice, which if you watch the trailer... Yeah, where Christian Bale plays
Dick Cheney.
It's a pretty crazy trailer. You gotta check
How much makeup did he put on for Dick Cheney in
Oh,
prosthetics?
he gained a lot of weight. I think.
Is that all weight?
There might be some prosthetics, but he's unrecognizable. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Well, if anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be Christian Bale.
Mickey Rourke said, like I said, he really went all out for this role in this movie. But apparently, he said in interviews that the hardest part for him was apparently Mickey Rourke said he's so technologically illiterate. That the hardest part was when these parts of this movie was on his computer and stuff to make it look like he knew what he was doing. And yes, Scarlett came out in a very nice,
very real dressy.
Yes,
Scarlett looks great in this movie. I'm just throwing that out there.
Whose daughter is Scarlett?
What?
Whose daughter is she?
No, she
has to be someone's daughter.
I don't think she was born from a human. She comes from the gods.
Right?
She's the Wonder Woman version of real life.
Yes,
Persephone.
Martin, Gal Gadot, or Scarlett Johansson.
Aphrodite birth.
Martin's face is very.
I might
have to take Scarlett.
I'm saying Scarlett just because I have more history with Scarlett.
That's true.
Although I did watch, Gale's from the Fast and Furious, so that's when I first saw her. It was Fast 5. No, Fast 4. So,
yeah. But Scarlett looks great in this movie.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, she's supposed to be playing on his Playboy tendencies, and that's.
Well, she manipulates him from the start.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, that's what she's doing.
Scarlett was like 24 in this movie.
Yeah,
is she still on his
23,
lap?
24?
Yeah. Well, they were talking, and
Devil.
she sat on his lap because she was like fixing his.
What did he just drink? Was there a worm in there? Or something.
Remember working at the DGA, that house up on top of the hill? We always like, it's a Tony Stark house.
Yes,
remember
I
that?
remember that. So just so everyone knows, at the DGA, there's a view of this massive white house on the top of one of the mountains in in Burbank?
Over.
No.
I don't know. I think it's Hollywood Hills.
Yes.
It does look like the Stark house.
It looks like it's got like a helipad.
Yeah.
So actually, tying it back to this movie, this is going to be a little degree of separation. That house, I believe, was or maybe still is owned by Megan Ellison, who
Tech guy.
no, she's the one who runs Annapurna Pictures. Her brother David Ellison runs Skydance. Their father is the billionaire Larry Ellison, who created Oracle, who has a cameo in this movie. I think we already got past it, possibly. Or maybe, I don't know if it happens yet, but Larry Ellison has a cameo in this movie, Iron Man 2. As himself, I believe. It may have already happened at one of the expos.
So I got to put on an interesting comic book historical fact here. Iron Man 128, bit of a key issue. It's an issue where Tony Stark gets through a bout of alcoholism. I think there's an interesting connection. And the cover of it is actually Tony kind of looking in the mirror, if I recall, with a bottle of alcohol and just looking destroyed. And I think there's that bit of a connection here with this.
Shy away from those darker sides of the character.
Well, I mean, I think it has a big connection.
Plays
to that.
into that, right?
Yeah,
Chris?
no. I mean, the whole thing with Scarlett Johansson's conversation. She told him like, if it was gonna be your last birthday, you just do anything you want.
Right? Yeah,
and that's why he's drunk in an Iron Man suit in front of everyone.
Scarlett, she set him up,
but she didn't know. She doesn't know he's dying. Or does she know yet?
Does she know? She has to.
No, she does not.
She finds out though. She finds out.
Doesn't. She finds out later. Yeah, I don't think
she finds out later. Yeah,
she doesn't know yet. Yeah.
Martin, as they cut to Don Cheadle's reaction shots in this, like I really buy like the disapproval on his face, but I can't help but picture if it was Terrence Howard, there'd be like tears in his eyes as he watches
his left eye.
As he watches his friend, self-destruct on stage here. Terrence would be the biggest tragedy.
So mad.
See, it's just looking at Cheadle, just the normal kind of just disappointment, like, oh God, what are you doing, Tony? Like, Terrence's would have been, you would have felt that in your soul.
Yeah.
But I like Cheadle's better. I like it better. I don't need that much drama.
I would like to point out that is DJ AM in the back.
I was going to ask that.
Is that a real person?
Not anymore, because he died in a plane. He didn't die in a plane crash. He was actually in a plane crash it was him and
Travis Parker.
Travis.
Yeah, didn't Travis survive that?
Both of them survived.
Oh, okay.
But he died later on from a drug overdose, which is probably.
You survive a plane crash just to die from a drug?
Well, he's probably stressed because of this.
Probably.
But
they were injured.
PTSD.
But he was an actual famous DJ. Okay.
Yeah, he was a fan. He dated Nicole Richie for a while. He was like in the whole socialite scene.
Okay. So that's a cameo. Okay.
All Hollywood starlets. At the time, he was pretty big. Obviously,
we got a blonde hair with a very revealing dress.
This is next time.
Oh wait, is this our first appearance as?
Okay. This is what I was going to say. As what though? So
he's not War Machine.
He's not War Machine yet, right? So he becomes the Iron Patriot.
Oh, the Iron Patriot, right? But there's no.
Iron Patriot doesn't come till 3.
No, that's not. Oh wait, I thought he was Iron Patriot.
Wait, what is the difference between
Iron Patriot? He paints the suit red, white, and blue, and that's in Iron Man 3.
Oh, that's not until 3.
Wait, what's the difference between the Iron Patriot and War Machine? Besides, it's Rudy in a suit.
No, there's a difference. Marketing. Iron Patriot is more of a kind of a national character that's built around the country and everything.
Right.
War Machine's just like. Him as literally in the suit by himself. Not representing anything.
Terrence Howard was probably just waiting for that moment. He never got that next time moment.
Yep.
Right. This is supposed to be it. Well, I would like to point out which
you pointed out, Chris.
I'll point out this is like how Rhodey. My big problem with this movie I had, because Rhodey puts the suit on and he's just like, he knows how to use it. He's fighting real Iron Man with it. If you remember from Iron Man 1, when Iron Man was learning how to use the suit, he could barely stay up.
Right.
He could barely stabilize himself.
Maybe he's practiced. We haven't seen it.
Maybe
he hasn't.
It's his first time putting the suit.
Yeah, it's his first time.
Gotta remember though, Tony Stark wasn't in the military. Tony Stark didn't have that background. Maybe Rhodey did.
Right, Rhodey's
No. Rhodey absolutely had a background in aviation and weaponry.
Yeah.
He's a strategic genius when it comes to that stuff. So it's
And maybe there's
You
advancements
can
to the suits
suspect
now.
the-
Right. That's what I buy. I buy
Yeah.
on more of the fact that he obviously made the suits a lot more advanced that people put them
Yeah.
on.
But no, thank you
in
for
3,
that.
everyone jumps in.
Right.
Everyone jumps in the suit.
Everyone
The
can
president's in the suit.
Pepper Potts is in the suit.
Yeah, just autopilot.
Well,
on the
they've
suit.
advanced the technology, so
Yeah.
it's easier for novices to jump in there. You know.
So just a
No, thanks for sharing that, Collector. That was great. Like
What?
to know that Rhodey's background like that.
Oh no,
that's
yeah,
huge.
he's a strategical genius when it comes to.
Oh wait,
anything
what's
with
it? So he thinks he just needs to fight drunk Tony. He had to get in the suit.
Well, no, he's
Well,
fighting him to try to stop him
Just
from
to
being an
slow-
idiot.
Okay.
Well, no. The thing is, the whole thing it built this whole dangerous scene. He was drunk. He's blasting walls. There's
And
all
he's
these people
that's true.
around.
So you have to have
He was-
fire
yeah.
to fight.
Sorry, I have to point it out. This is a foreshadowing scene, obviously, for
Yes.
later on when they do the same thing against.
What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
Right here. This is what they do.
You'll see it later.
You'll see it later. But
Well, what are you talking about? So our listeners. know what we're looking
good
at.
point. So Iron Man and Rhodey inside the Iron Man suit, they just blasted each other with their hands. So
Oh, okay.
and the what did you call it? The laser?
Yeah, it's pretty much part of the laser.
Yeah,
It's his hand
energy.
laser. His hand.
The beams hit each
Yes.
other.
And
They
then-
cross
and
the
they, like,
streams. They shouldn't have
cross
crossed
the
the
streams,
streams.
and it builds up in the middle, and it explodes, and they both,
Yeah.
and the whole room's destroyed, and they're both
Yeah.
knocked out, or at least one's knocked
And
out.
then, just for my comic book fans out there, I just want to point out that James Rhodey first appearance was in Iron Man 118, 1979. So he came way after the first Iron Man appearance. And then his first War Machine was Iron Man 282. So, and then Iron Patriot
Okay.
was like much later in the
Iron
2000s.
Patriot. I've always liked that. I think that's such a badass name.
You would. You're a Patriots
well, I
fan.
am a Patriots fan.
You would.
That's why
It was
sounds
not a
awesome.
representation of the Patriots.
Was that Tom Brady? So, I wish
Oh,
Tom Brady
and
should have a
if-
suit.
Oh, you know
That
what?
was so badass.
If he was still Iron Patriot for a couple more movies, they could have. You know, they show like the popularity of these characters. They probably would have shown Rhodey as the Iron Patriot, like landing in the pregame ceremony of like a Patriots game at
Yeah.
Giant Stadium or something with the cheerleaders.
Yep.
Oh, that
Yeah.
would have been awesome.
That'd been
I would
good.
have loved that.
You're right, Chris. It was I for some reason I thought he was Iron Patriot in this one, but it was number 3. Yeah. And I kind of have to agree with you still. Despite his background, it does seem a little weird that he was able to so easily
Agreed.
just
But-
use the Iron Man suit.
But he
Like,
did struggle a little bit. I would
Did
probably.
he?
He did, because like you saw him like when he was lifting up,
Yeah.
trying to go to the next floor, he was like wobbly a little bit.
Okay.
When they first went through that wall, they both did that flip, and then Tony Stark actually like used his thrusters to keep himself steady,
Right,
whereas
right.
Rhodey didn't. So
Okay. So maybe
This
there
is,
was a little
this
bit
is
of
really cool.
Yeah.
Him coming into land at Edwards Air Force Base.
Oh, yeah.
like that patriotic Steve Jablonski mix we're hearing right
this
now.
is- but again, this is like the you need to see the military response as well, and just he's been
Yeah.
in the military, and
This is real world.
so yeah, Rhodey's Lane. You got some stealth bombers in the background. They probably use the actual military personnel as extras. They do that a lot when they film on
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
bases. It's exciting for those guys to get to be in a movie. And
There's a whole section of people in the military and in armed services here I think it's called Hollywood Post 43, where all of them work as like extras. They work as gun consultants. They just work in the entertainment industry at large. So it's kind of cool.
Does not seem reminiscent of the shawarma scene a little bit?
Yeah.
yeah, well, here we have Tony sitting in the giant donut of Randy's Donuts. Now, this is in Los Angeles, down by
Yes.
LAX. I've driven past this before. I've never gotten a donut from there. I've never been in there.
Me neither.
before.
I used to live close to there.
So
Yeah.
we're getting Nick Fury,
Yeah,
and
Nick
he's
Fury.
not in the cameo.
The
because
first-
that's what
is this
he
the
has in
midpoint?
first,
What are we
This
at?
is his
The
first
midpoint?
actual
Yeah.
scene,
Yeah.
and we're about an hour into the movie. Here's Nick
Yes.
Fury. So we haven't seen him since that
Yep.
post-credit scene in Iron Man because it was
Yep.
the
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk and all. So,
This is when we really first get to know him.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
there's so much going on in this movie.
so they wanted to bring him back for the Samuel L. Jackson. After that cameo in the first one,
Mhm.
and because I believe it was while they were negotiating for this one is when they had him sign his massive 9-picture deal with Marvel.
Wow.
Wow.
Which I'm not sure if he's.
And this is when.
And we get Black
it's
Widow in her
revealed.
like-
Yeah, Black Widow in her outfit. Here we go.
Yep. And I just want to point out, Nick Fury, for the comic book people out there, the first appearance was Strange Tales 135.
There's a lot of
So,
strange tales. Okay.
Yeah. Don't know why it was in Strange Tales, but that was his first appearance. So. Yeah.
Very cool.
But I love that they whipped them out here now, and it's like, it's official.
So
We
that-
have Nick Fury, we have
Yeah,
Black Widow.
and now we know Black. Now we know. Now Tony knows she's a Shield agent.
Yeah.
And yeah.
She looks so young. Well, she's our age, huh?
She's
Scarlet.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you mean now,
She's
or-
like a year older than us. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yep.
She still looks amazing.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
This brings so much comedy into it. Nick Fury. Your little brother just walked in and took your suit.
Oh yeah, I can tell you the original Nick Fury from the comic books is a very serious person. He is not comedic and he does not joke around. So,
Right.
I like that Samuel kind of injected that.
Didn't they like use Samuel as a reference for one version of Nick Fury?
Oh, later on, yeah.
Yeah.
And like in the cartoons and the Adventures.
Yep.
Before he took the role.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
That's correct.
Okay.
And there was a couple.
versus.
There was like a Punisher, Black Widow movie that a Marvel animated movie that came out that also had him in that too. But yeah, no, Chris is right. He did. I don't know if they probably put him in the comics too eventually. I don't know for sure, but I'm sure they did. As far as him, like his character.
Yeah, no, but I know in the cartoon, Earth's Mightiest, it was the.
It wasn't always him,
his version.
It changed. I mean, yeah, it changed
No, it
after this
changed.
movie. So, just like it changed with other elements, like with presidents and stuff too. You know.
Yeah.
Finally got to see black presidents in comic books and in movies and other elements. Like what was that? That British spy movie? Not Golden Circle was the second one. What was
Yes, Kingsman.
Yeah. So like you'll see like President like Obama and that.
Yeah.
Like, I like how that works.
You can't forget about
historically.
what was the asteroid movie with Morgan Freeman?
Impact?
Deep Impact.
Deep Impact. Yeah.
I actually like that movie.
Me too. It came out the same year as Armageddon.
Yep.
It did?
When I was younger, I
Wow.
loved Armageddon better. Now that I'm older, Deep Impact's
Interesting.
superior.
But you do have a thing with bad movies, so that makes sense.
Hey, Fifth Element.
In the 90s,
Fifth
for
Element.
a weird time, you
Tiny
had
Lister
two-
was
you had
the president.
You had Dante's,
Tiny.
Peak and Dante's Peak and Volcano in the same year.
Right?
Yeah. There was something
that's
else.
nice.
There was like a
Yeah,
couple other
Volcano- yeah,
movies
they
that
did
lined
that.
up.
Oh,
Was
Yeah,
you get
Deep
two big
Impact.
movies on the same
Yeah.
subject.
Was the
yeah.
core one with something else or no?
I
the
don't
core
think
came
maybe
after
another-
Armageddon, I think.
There wasn't another
Yeah.
Earth core movie, I don't think.
God, it's funny. There was the two volcano movies.
Now we get like biopics, or you get two
Right.
Truman Capote biopics
Right.
in the same year.
You
That's
get,
something
like,
weird.
2 Steve Jobs and like
Yeah, two Steve
years.
Jobs. Exactly. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the weird thing now.
So Justin Hammer in the scene is annoyed because he doesn't understand why Ivan isn't making the robots to be like an Iron Man suit where a human can get in it. He doesn't realize that Ivan has his own agenda and is basically just creating super suits that he can control. So
So when
This is-
it just showed you that when you're acting spiteful or out of vengeance, you're just so blind to everything else around you.
Yep.
Like if he wouldn't have been so jealous of Tony Stark, maybe he would have noticed that there was something crazy going on.
well, and it's also the interesting parallel between the two characters. Whereas Iron Man wants that control, he wants to be in the suit, he wants to manage it. Ivan doesn't want that. Not truthfully. I mean, he does get into the suit, but he wants to have the element of controlling the other suits around him as well. So.
Right.
So with the drone concept, though, we haven't seen that yet with like just an empty suit flying, which we see in all the later Iron Man movies, where he just sends a suit and talks through it, or he has the drone fleet, and
And,
and it reminds me also kind of like the
Ultron.
Sentinels and X-Men and stuff
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
that. So it's like they're kind of setting that up for this world at least, unmanned.
Oh yeah, well
suits.
that's what they said. That's Ultron.
Yeah.
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 It
Yeah.
winds up setting up to
Jeez.
Ultron.
Maybe this gave Tony the motivation to think about doing his own version of drones. I mean, it's possible.
Well, after Iron Man 3, after he builds all those suits and then destroys them
That's
for some
true. He does
reason.
do that.
We'll talk about it in Iron Man 3.
I'll wait for Iron Man 3.
Then Avengers come, or Ultron comes around. Avengers of Ultron, or Age of Ultron comes around, and that's when he has the Iron Legion and
Right,
he
the
has
Iron
the
Legion.
drones. Yeah.
Yep.
So he stole Ivan's designs actually. Come to think of it.
Yeah. Justin Hammer really has a lot going on in this movie. He's helping Ivan out to try to beat Tony. He
Right.
actually puts a lot of his weaponry into that suit that
Destroys
Rhodey
Ivan.
took.
Yeah, the shoot that ends Ivan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, that's true.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
The suit that ends Ivan.
Again, you
so
act vengeful and spiteful.
Yeah.
Look what happens.
Look what happens.
So they're hanging out at Tony's ruined house, which gets completely destroyed in the next Iron Man movie.
Yep.
Such a great scene.
This
His
is where
nice
it explains.
Malibu mansion over the ocean.
God, I would love to live in a house like that.
Nice views. Yeah.
That's the explanation.
So, this is so unique. So it's like, what is he? What is Nick talking about? He's not talking about the arc reactor, but he's
No.
talking about something that
No,
his
he's
father
It was
Just
a
talking about
connection.
the original art reactor, where the original ideas for the art reactor were him and
Oh,
Anton.
you're right, because
Yes.
Tony didn't come up with that. He perfected it and created it.
Right.
So you're right. I'm sorry.
It didn't work before.
So
that's the
Anton and Howard Stark tried to create it together, and I guess Howard must have pushed him out or something.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, Howard found out that Anton was trying to do it for profit. Yeah,
Gotcha.
He had bad intentions, so that's why he pushed him out.
Yep.
But obviously, from their perspective, they just look at like Howard Stark just pushed him out because he's this rich Stark. He pushed him out and stole everything.
Right.
That's Ivan's perception. Which why he hates Stark.
My question is, Fury is trying to push Tony Stark to figure out what the father couldn't. Fury needs him to do that for weaponry?
No. Right now he's trying to push him to figure out why he's sick.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tony's just finding out his dad was a founding member of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And I don't think
you got this, right?
I don't think Nick knows. I don't think Nick knows how to cure him.
You good?
No.
I don't think Nick knows how to cure him and is trying to push him to find it for himself. I think he's literally just trying to push him to help him find it because he clearly doesn't look like he's taking the initiative to do it. So.
Oh yeah, no, he just brought his father's stuff in here.
Yeah.
He said his father said, "You're the smartest person, the only one that can figure things out."
Yep.
Coulson's there. Coulson's
is
there.
he? Did we just see Coulson?
Yeah, he just said,
he's
"You
right
remember
there.
Agent Coulson?" There he is. Good old Coulson.
Good old Coulson.
Yeah,
Imitate
I'm a big Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan. Love Coulson.
I could never get into that show, and I wanted to.
Oh, it got better. It got better.
The show is a lot better.
Second
now.
half of the first season after the events of Winter Soldier.
I was
so fun to see him.
I will say one thing about Agent S.H.I.E.L.D. I really wish. Because he dies in Avengers.
Whoa!
Spoiler alert! I mean, spoiler alert.
Whoa. Okay, well, you've had 6 years to watch this.
Well, in this movie, they still don't like each other, so it's kind of funny to have the dynamic between those two characters.
Listen, there's going to be some country, and some third world country that's just getting internet for the first time, and they're going to listen to us, and we're ruining everything for them.
This is one of the first things a country that just got internet is going to do.
God damn it, Algeria!
I'm
They
sorry.
don't even know what Iron Man 2 is?
No, they're going to go straight for the porn. Okay, they're not going to go straight to Cape Seafood.
I'm sorry, Algeria. I wish you could watch the movie.
But it's cool that we're going to get, in a few months, in Captain Marvel, we're going to get younger Coulson in the 90s with younger Fury with both eyes. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Can we just see two timelines in that movie? Continuous timelines happening at the same time? Christopher Nolan just direct it? How awesome would that be?
Well, in the scene right here, we just saw. They call him Hammer because he's a weapons contractor for the military.
For the government,
yeah. But Rhodes, even though he takes the arc reactor out of the suit and packs it away before Hammer gets there, still protecting Howard Stark's his designs.
Yeah,
but
that's cool.
But he says weaponize the suit.
That's the same actor from the first one. Remember when Tony Stark was flying against that F-22? That guy right there was the one he was trying to.
On the phone. You're right. That's,
really?
That's funny. It definitely was. Yeah.
I love the fact that Sam Rockwell, as Justin Hammer's wearing all these white gloves as he's handling all these guns.
Well, he's like a weapons manufacturer. He's a Lord of War, as Nick Cage was.
I love that movie.
I love it.
Now, do they know he's developing this fleet, or is that something he's doing on his own?
No, he's doing that. They don't even know.
They don't know.
Everyone thinks Ivan's dead.
Yeah. Oh, right.
But that fleet wasn't being made for the next event that was happening.
Well, no,
Hammer took over.
Yeah, Hammer is trying to he was trying to make the Iron Man.
But yeah, they don't know that he's
Ivan.
using Ivan.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't think Justin's trying to kill Tony with those suits. I think he's just trying to outdo him. He wants to. Yeah, he wants to.
Because he knows the government wants the suits. Iron Man's not going to give it to him, so he's trying to give it to him himself to make all the money.
Yeah. Oh God,
he's
the Buster
so
Bunker
good.
That never becomes the Buster Bunker. It was pathetic.
The Buster Bunker.
It's funny.
He would have been a good Tony Stark. I have to admit.
Well,
he would have been good. I mean, now
we were talking because you want to add to the podcast, obviously. But if you would have listened to everything he just said when he was explaining each gun, it was kind of hot. It was kind of sexy. It was cool,
Oh yeah, it was.
Ryan's turn.
That's
I'm not
know if it's
guns.
It's actually one of my favorite scenes when he's presenting the guns.
Yeah,
he just keeps going.
Cool.
The Cheadle and the other guy, Alan, whoever guy's name. They're just sitting there, standing there watching.
Did you just give him the name Alan, or do you know his name?
I read his name
We'll
tag on
call
the
him
shirt.
Alan.
I read his name tag on his shirt.
Okay.
Alright?
It does say
Alan. I thought you just made up that name for that guy.
Okay, we have not been Greer Gain.
Good
It's
job, Chris.
Alan. Alan again.
Alan B.
Well, we don't even. We're not. Are we 100% sure he listens to the first movie as well? Because
I
sure.
think
I
Chris
don't
is
know.
right.
Let's see
I'm
here.
pretty sure you're right, Chris. I
Hashtag
remember.
Alan Gate
There we
now.
go.
I don't know.
Alan Gate.
That's the original blueprint.
You're right. There's the blueprint.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm.
You're popping your
We've
beer
watched
open.
a lot of movies since we watched the first Iron Man. So Tony developed that arc reactor while he was locked away in the cave to save the shrapnel.
Well, he not developed. Howard Stark developed it. He enhanced it to make it.
And two,
actually
Well, how
so-
did he do that while he was in the cave?
No,
How did he have access
no,
to?
Iron Man, the arc
He
reactor was
Yeah, he had
already
the
running.
blueprints.
It just wasn't as small. If you guys
Oh.
remember, there was a huge arc reactor that was in the that was in one of his labs
Yeah.
that
Correct.
was running, and so
Yeah.
he was kind of the developer of the arc technology. He just never made it small enough to
Yeah.
do that.
But he just made it small while he was in the cave.
yeah.
Because he's freaking Tony
Well,
Stark.
because at the time when
I
he
forgot,
told him that he told the people, his captives, that like I need this, I need this, I need this.
Gotcha.
He got all these parts
Because he knew that technology could
Right.
save his heart
Correct.
from the shrapnel.
and he thought that, and they
Sorry,
thought
I
he was
forgot
building a
about that.
bomb.
Okay.
He's building them their bomb.
So right now Tony's watching an old like 16mm movie. Is that 16mm or is it 8?
Yes, old
16mm,
movies,
yeah.
probably 16
Of his father discussing the Stark X-Men stuff, and it's through this movie that he's gonna find the key to fixing his disease. So that is what the
And
He
this
just
is-
saw a younger
He
version
developed the
of
Stark
himself.
Expo at the beginning of this movie,
Yeah.
and obviously his father had an idea for this already.
Yeah.
This is so Walt Disney with the suit and the mustache.
It
and
is.
Oh, yeah.
It is very well
Yeah.
In front of
He
the
is
model,
Walt
the
Disney.
model of his
drinking
creation.
the alcohol, like the little
Oh, yeah.
whiskey and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
Disney used to go on TV like once a week in
Yeah.
the Wonderful World of Disney
Yeah,
and
wow.
explain this stuff. And very
And you
cool.
see-
Is that a razor with the
a flip phone.
Yeah.
flip phone razor
flip
that?
phone.
Wow.
Oh, that was-
Were flip phones still a thing back then? Was there not like iPhones by that time? Like,
First
it was
iPhone
barely
was
iPhones.
07?
10?
No.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it's only a
oh,
few
yeah.
years into the
Blackberries and
smartphone
stuff,
thing.
But people still have flip phones.
But that was a razor.
Yeah,
though.
but he's also watching these
Wow.
movies on a 16mm project,
oh,
film projector.
but that's different. I think that's.
You wouldn't
that's
put
what
that-
I
ordered
had
that
on.
16.
I wonder if this is one of the last movies set in modern day where somebody watched a movie on a whole movie on a film projector.
No, probably.
Well,
Think
Might
about
have
it.
not.
it's
Marvel
only because
film.
that's how it was filmed. Because he
I
found
don't know
he
if
found
you
the
see
films
too
and
much of
told
that.
stuff.
People
Well,
in a lot of old movies, people used to
Horror
throw
films,
off-
yes.
I will say
Horror
Captain
films.
America. What was the second one? Don't help me out.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. There's that scene where Black Widow and Cap go into the bunker.
Yeah.
And they're talking
Yeah.
about the Hydra.
But that was like
I
a
don't know
lab
that.
that was set up like 30 years ago.
No,
or
I know,
something,
but
you
still,
Yeah.
it's kind of that element to it.
Yeah.
That's there. I don't know. I
But
can't think
this
of
is
anything
like
else.
Tony hasn't. He's a billionaire. He hasn't digitized these old movies. He doesn't have like had somebody.
Jarvis should have done.
I
it.
had my old movies like digitized.
Well,
and
his
stuff on
house just
DVD.
got blown up by a UFC brawl between him and his
You know how many
friends.
screening rooms and projectors he probably has in that mansion in Malibu? You get the first floor got blown up. Just go to the basement man cave and watch
Yeah,
it there.
stop making
Basement Man
excuses for
Crew.
Tony Martin.
Just saying.
That
So-
PCH?
So
Oh, yeah.
Tony's driving his cliche Audi S4, which became very popular from the first movie, and he still did it.
What
in
about
this
the
one.
NES4?
Well, that's a much older actor.
Audi and the NE? I don't know.
Well,
No,
that's the.
there's no NES.
That's called. This is called product placement. All right, just so you know.
For strawberries?
No, for the Audi.
Oh.
Audi.
He's funny.
So when you chose
Strawberries
the
from
beer,
dinosaur,
Martin, I
never
thought
mind.
I couldn't remember if it was strawberries or grapes in that scene, so I kind of was wondering if that's going to pop
Oh,
up.
afraid
But it was
of
not grapes, unfortunately, like your beer. It was
Pepper does not
strawberries.
have no green lamp on her desk, Martin. Sorry.
But
She has green flowers.
Green flowers. Have we seen
Yes.
any bubbling containers of green liquid
We
yet?
have not,
We've checked
no.
that box in many of the past several
No.
movies. So.
No, because at this point, we are no
Well,
longer
that's
superhero movies.
a bubbling thing of green liquid. No. Sorry.
I actually
Look at
heard
Bill
about
O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly.
Oh, Bill O'Reilly.
Can we add a rim shot sound effect?
Look at Tony's hair. Hold on.
Tony's
Who does
hair
he
is
look-
doing some wild things in this movie.
It's probably a wig.
Yeah, it's like up. He's got it like it's like Benicio del Toro slash
Yes.
Brad
Not a
Pitt
wig,
/ Al Pacino.
He does look a little
kind of
Benicio
all
del Toro
going on.
right now.
He does.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Who
taller
actually
than some other movies.
in Guardians of the
War?
Galaxy, he plays the part of the Collector. Ooh, I'm sitting
And
next
it's
to
Demi
him.
Moore.
I'm sitting next to him.
Wait, so
we got Hannibal Buress here. We got Benicio del Toro.
Wait, Martin. So you said he got an idea from watching that whole movie. What did? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Who got an idea?
Yeah, Tony was gonna get learn the key to.
Well, no, that movie because he thought his father didn't care. And when he watched the end of that movie, he sent a message to Tony Stark saying that like you're too young now, but you're going to be the future and you're going to figure this out, and when you do, you're going to change the world.
God,
so it's the first time he actually heard his father actually say anything.
Tony had a very, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Tony had a very contentious relationship with his father growing up, and they didn't really get along well. But obviously, in another movie later on, you will see that he did really care for him. But yeah, no, I mean, so that was really the first time you see.
You
him
can see that
connection.
Here, right? You can see his dad cares for him here with that.
You do.
Well, yeah. Once you saw that.
But you just don't know how. It's just crazy at this point. You don't know the tragic circumstances behind his parents' death.
Right.
How much?
Which that's messed up. What happens when you find out in Winter Soldier? Civil War. Sorry, Civil War.
Well, and I don't think it was so much that Tony. It wasn't. I think Howard always felt like Tony wasn't reaching his potential that he could have early on, but obviously he does later on.
Which makes sense. Which is why we love Nick Fury's character so much, because he's not a father figure per se, but he comes in as someone that challenges and pushes him to achieve, like a father figure.
He takes on those roles a little bit for them.
And he knew his father, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Actually, Nick Fury and Howard Stark.
Howard Stark died in 1991. So we don't know. Captain Marvel's going to take place in the because that was.
Oh no, he was definitely
Civil War.
It was like December, incident December.
Well,
something.
Howard Stark was in Shield and Nick Fury is Shield, so I'm sure they knew each other at some point.
Holy crap! But you just made that. I mean, the new movie's coming out in the 90s, right?
Yeah. But that might be the mid-90s. I don't know. Yeah. That'd be cool if John Slattery. Well. It'd have to be before 91 because they've already set that up as the date in the MCU that he died. So this might be a little after that. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it is after that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the Marvel universe is the Stark saga.
The Marlboro universe. What did you say?
I said Marvel.
Did you say Marvel? I thought I heard Marlboro. I was
Marlboro.
like the cigarette universe. Sorry.
Thanks, Ryan.
So you have Black Widow and Pepper Potts. I wouldn't mind a little black pepper.
Whoa!
Just.
I see where you're going there.
I don't know. Combine, just saying.
What are they arguing
I'm looking
about?
at Martin's face as
because
he's watching
she's
Johansson walk through the scene in this tight black dress, and
he's looking at Tony Stark.
He is transfixed.
Wait, what are they arguing about?
Well, she's still in the cover. He's not supposed to leave the house.
Yeah.
He left the house, so she's still undercover until everyone left the room, and she's like, I'm gonna, if you don't, you either drive yourself back or I'm sending someone to pick you up.
She was throwing some serious shade his way, and he took it on.
And this is old belongings. And
I have to say,
strawberries everywhere.
as I go back and watch this, I don't know if it's because I'm talking to you guys and learning so much and having fun, but I'm actually enjoying this more than I did the first time I watched it.
The key to the future is here. Here's where he discovers something. He's seeing the old model of the...
the
Expo.
The Stark
This
Expo.
is pure, storytelling right here. This is, pure conventional structure that we're looking at right here.
Yeah.
He finds the answer in this object.
That's a great shot. He stuffed the model into his convertible.
Even though he's driving pretty fast, some of that stuff should have broke off. But we're cool with that. We're cool. Yeah, hey. It still has dust on it after all that wind? Oh, we're cool, though.
Yeah, this looks like the miniature town under the Hoover Dam in Superman the movie. What a great miniature.
What are those called? Little things like that, like continuity? No, not continuity. Like when the wind probably would have cleaned it off, and the way they would have done. I don't know. I feel like there's a name for that on IMDb when you look at those little pieces of things.
Actually, I don't know because that's not really continuity. That's more.
No, not continuity. Yeah, it's not a plot hole per se. It's just
revealing mistakes.
Yeah, revealing mistakes.
That's cool. This is something. I mean, this is pretty much here.
Well, no,
I just did a VR game experience with my friend at his house. And literally walk.
Yeah, but Tony doesn't have to wear a mask.
That's true.
This is like Minority Report.
Yeah. We need Minority Report. But that took place in 2054 or something where...
they still had helmets.
This, is supposed to be 2010.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, which 8 years later we don't quite have this.
Doesn't this kind of exist? Can't we do stuff like this
now? Not without wearing Not without wearing some kind of
Not
goggles.
glasses.
I mean,
Headsets
we have to do
or
it in
something,
VR
Gotcha.
world.
There's
We're
augmented
close.
reality you can do with when you have the right equipment on. But
Gotcha. Okay.
He's just this
I
is
can
just
touch
being
my phone.
somehow. I don't even know if this is possible. How would you? It's not being projected on anything.
Well,
you know?
yeah, because
I don't
basically
know.
he's looking at this 3D version of everything,
Right.
but what are the sensors he's using to
Exactly.
touch
That's
that?
like the Well, even the holograms in Star Wars always have a base to them, or like
Yeah.
a droid is projecting it, or something like
Right.
This, it's like I don't know how this would work.
Maybe if there's like sensor points that are actual points that if you activate them, like if you touch
maybe.
an area. Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
It's almost like a nucleus that he opens it when he.
Well, that's the thing. He's in the process of developing a new element,
Right.
and he
Ooh.
sees
Which
he
is
sees
so
the
cool.
design.
Starkanium, Starkium.
It's the new element that's supposed to actually be able to run his arc reactor off of without killing him.
Okay.
He says, "Dad, you're still taking me to school."
20 years, would you say?
It's just 20 years. Dad's still taking me to school.
Yeah.
Proposed. Does he
How did
name
he
it
create
this?
that?
I don't.
Well, he hasn't created it yet. He just discovered it.
Yeah.
Jarvis is gonna synthesize.
Don't give it to him. Get that bumbling
Because-
thing.
Well, the thing is, it was actually the design of the Stark Explorer that his father built.
Mm.
And in the video, his father said, "Listen, the technology of my time, I can't develop this stuff, but
he knew.
Finally, you'll figure it out." And see, the thing
right.
is that he knew he kind of discovered this thing, but he couldn't make it.
Right.
His father, Howard Stark, discovered this element, but he couldn't make it.
He is just rooting his house even more right now, drilling the holes in the floor, sledgehammering the walls.
He does the hot rod red.
He doesn't give a damn. Does not give a damn.
Where did he get
And
this
it- I was-
stuff from?
I was gonna say, like,
is he building
It's like
a
a
particle?
hydron,
particle accelerator?
Exactly.
It's like it's like Angels and Demons.
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
not seen this.
Oh God, what's that thing called? The hydron.
The hadron, the large
Yes.
hadron collider.
That's what it looks like.
It's funny how I was just thinking to myself in my head, like, why didn't your dad just send you like a book, like read this book in the future? But then you think about all the people who would have tried to manipulate that book, and even maybe his dad didn't even trust Fury at the time. You know, just think about how much you look at Fury from a different point of view when you watch Civil War.
Right. That's it.
Oh, there's the prototype Captain America shield.
Yes.
Oh.
That's pretty cool because we wouldn't see Captain America for another year after this.
Yeah, because Thor
Yeah.
comes out and then
That's so cool. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So they were kind of hinting at that early on.
over a year.
That's
after
great.
this.
He's just using it.
It's not
As a
Cap's
level
actual
up.
shield, just a prototype that
He
Howard
already
developed.
hates
Yeah.
here. This is where the beef
Started
officially
shitting on
started,
Cap.
right here.
Oh yeah,
Between him
John
and
Favreau was like, "Do we
Before
have
him
to
and Captain
put that
America?
in?"
Yeah.
Probably.
Actually,
pretty cool.
between him and Captain America, that's the
That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
the beef
That's a
between
cool
him and
little
Cap.
Easter egg.
because earlier on, and you'll see that the shield was developed by Stark. So this is probably the prototype for the first
He has-
version of it.
And
Colson's
Tony Stark
so
has no
cocky
idea what
still,
that
I love
is.
it.
And I love in Civil War when he's like, "Give that back. That's not yours." And he's talking to, "Give me back my dad's shield."
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, that was a pretty that's during their heartbreaking fight.
Oh, it was,
I know.
man.
That's tough. That's tough.
God, man,
Yeah.
the stuff you see in movies, just it's so cool.
Okay,
How is this not real?
I don't even think you could make a successful particle accelerator collider for that size that easily, because why in the hell would they have to make the large hadron colliders like, I don't know, 10 miles in diameter or something just to combine little atoms? If it was so easy to do it in one that size, they wouldn't have to build them so big, but I don't know.
I mean, but this
He
is
must
pretty
not
big
know
for
he's
what he's
watching
doing.
I guess.
He must not know he's watching a movie over there.
I know. See? I'm analyzing too much.
It kind of reminds me of this movie from the 80s with Val Kilmer called Real Genius.
Ah.
The scene.
I remember that one.
It's a good movie.
Probably
all
will
right.
not watch that in my backyard.
So hitting this little triangular metal device with this laser creates the new elements.
Laser.
We have it.
Fire the lasers!
Fire the lasers!
Oh my god. I believe this is the second one in a row now we've made an Austin Powers reference.
Oh, you're right.
Superman, when he dove under the earth, we're saying he was pushing up all the magma.
Liquid magma.
Magma.
He uses some tweezers.
Yep. I always love the scene when he finally puts it in. It's almost like it's kind of like a steroid boost to me is the way it kind
Is there like radiation coming off that? Should he like? He doesn't
Well, it's
have
a
any
whole new
protection
element.
as he's handling that thing, but
Well, he didn't touch with his hand. He used his tweezers.
yeah, I'm still getting he's getting his face pretty close to it though.
Well, he's about to put it in his chest, so hopefully
Well,
it's
that's
safe.
true. Hopefully, yeah, that's true. He wouldn't last very long, anyways. If it had real radiation.
And
Oh, Hydra golfing party, I think.
Pre-Hydra.
I don't know if I don't know if they decided at this point that Senator Stern was going to be that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is Senator Stern in the comics at all, Ryan?
I don't know. I don't recall that character.
Not sure.
Well, he won't be because Gary Chandler's passed away since. So
Yeah, we lost
be
Gary
coming back.
Shandling about 2 years ago, I think. So.
What did he die of?
I think it
A heart
may have been a heart attack. Yeah.
Old age.
Yeah. Ivan's still cooking up some
Well, if we recall,
weapons
his first Whiplash device
Yeah,
was
nice
much
little
smaller. This one's like it's getting legit now. So.
do you think there were people when they heard that the movie came out a few years ago called Whiplash that people got excited and thought J.K. Simmons was playing
No.
the Iron Man villain, and then it turned out to be a movie about drumming? I don't know.
No.
There have been some people out there who.
I was disappointed.
Probably
Well,
not.
I was
You
saying,
like Whiplash?
I mean, that was a great movie.
Oh, it's an amazing movie.
No, I know.
Okay.
I want to mention the correlation between what Ivan Vanko's doing. He's working, and under Hammer, he's making his own thing. It's telling him that he's making this thing for Hammer, making these suits or these drones for Hammer, while he's using his technology to build his own suit and take control, which is the same thing that happened with Iron Man in the cave when he was supposed to build this weapon for them, and he just used their stuff to build an Iron Man suit.
Yeah,
Oh, you're
that's
right.
true.
He's doing the same thing. Yeah, he's
Nice.
He's shacked up. He's kind of being held there, and he's given parts. And
He's mad. He's not getting what he wants.
Yeah. What was Tony supposed to be building in the cave for them?
Jericho missile.
He's supposed to be building. Okay,
Yeah.
so here he's like, you're supposed to be giving me suits, but he's actually like working on his little Whiplash
Right.
device. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
That parallel between these characters, man.
It's like
It's like-
Tony's not that different from some of these guys.
I was thinking today, this is throwback to Frost Nixon with him playing that character.
Love it.
So the movie Frost was adapted from a play,
Yes.
and I just wonder, like, that play was done there. It was in Britta.
Well, adapted from a play, but
Britannia?
also from the real actual interviews, of course. But
Of course,
yes, but
Yes.
and it's like Frost was like the hero, like he was the guy from that country. He was considered that hero. So you think about how Tony Stark's character here and then Hammer's character is like, maybe people in Russia thought Hammer's dad was that hero. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
stories, it depends on who's telling the story.
You mean Ivan's death?
Ivan's, yeah, whatever.
Well,
That's it.
Like, we think Tony Stark is the hero here and he's the villain, but he might not be the villain where he's from.
Different
Oh, no.
perspective.
Yeah, it's one of those different perspective things where he feels like his family was
True.
is taken advantage of by the rich Starks.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it
Rick
depends
Starks-
how history, what you do and how history sees you.
I think there's a parallel to be made to real life. Some people that are maybe called terrorists, people in their part of the world, maybe call them
Heroes.
Oh, yeah.
Fighters are
Right.
heroes.
or yeah.
Yeah.
He's giving Tony Stark a call.
So how far?
Tony Stark just learned that Ivan Vanko's alive.
What are we in, like, an hour and 30 minutes in?
We
Yeah.
are an hour and 30 minutes in. Look at that
And
time.
you haven't taken one bathroom break.
Oh, man. Is your middle name
Oh,
Time
Martin's bladder.
Martin Bladder holding up. I love it.
Holding up,
Amazing.
just like this movie.
Very true.
Story's so compelling, he can't go.
I like how there's blood on his hand right
Yeah,
there.
well, he just kicked
This
the crap and killed all the
This is little details. Like, you didn't see that in the 90s and the 80s, like dents on cars. Or, like I said, we mentioned how Tony Stark, the first time you see his suit, it's scratched up, you know? It's like, those details you don't
Star
really...
Wars kind of started something that they used. Well, that was supposed to be futuristic or sci-fi, but the idea of used stuff. A lot of those things look in that movie look like they've been used for years. So yeah.
Really? Like the stuff in, like, the desert and stuff?
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
on like Tatooine.
Well,
Yeah, maybe not the stuff on the Death Star as much,
Yeah.
but
I thought that was so cool how like the affection part of his body just recedes back
Right.
in the thing.
Ooh. Oh, he's
That's what I'm saying.
what a rush.
It
That's
feels
not my
like
pre-workout
steroids.
fixing.
New reactor.
It's like an injection or
It's
something.
like
Yeah.
did a line of cocaine. He's ready.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. pulled from actual experience to do that.
Low blow.
He's better now.
Well, actually, there's been interviews that were the interviewers have tried to bring stuff like that up that I've
I've
watched.
seen a
And
couple
he
of
really
those,
does
yes.
not get happy with that. Like, oh yeah,
Good for
Tony does
him.
not like to talk about that stuff. Yeah.
See, this is Sam Rockwell dancing. This is like Sam Rockwell is so good. Only Sam Rockwell can do this. Like, come on.
Yeah, what do you think if Steve Jobs did this when he
Look
came
at
up for his
And his moves are pretty good.
He just did these leg things.
So good.
But his whole upper body's stiff.
I know.
He's so good.
Well, he thinks he's in a great place right here. He doesn't realize that he's in trouble. And
I guess
so
that
many
I think
ways.
that was improv too. Like that
Oh,
was
that
improv.
had to be.
So, I
was.
mean, that's yeah. He's the only actor who would have tried that. It's interesting when you create fictional corporations and movies like this Hammer one. You have to
Oh, where you going,
have
Ryan?
like a
Let's go slice some
designer to
pizza. You
actually
going to the bathroom,
design it
Ryan?
like it would be an actual company
there's no
logo
pizza left.
to look legitimate.
Oh.
Nope, I was getting pizza. I wasn't going to the bathroom.
And we have to stay nourished here while
Wait, I love how
while we
look
do
at-
this for you.
Look at. I mean, I wish you could rewind, but there is barely anybody in the. I mean, there's a lot of people in the audience, so that wasn't like CGI. That was people literally in the audience.
Yeah, for at least the first several rows. Yeah,
Think how many extras that was.
this
That
definitely reminds me of when the Sentinels come out in
Yeah.
Days of Future Past. They're
Yeah.
like parading them out in front of the White House. This is like in front of the White House in that movie. And it's very they're playing the military themes here. Yeah,
Maybe. Yeah.
for all the different branches. This is cool. They actually play the song for each military branch as they come out too.
Yeah. And they have the visuals in the background.
He's actually pretty badass looking.
What's music?
Something.
This is legit music.
Yeah, these are the actual
Really?
themes for each branch of the military. Yes.
It feels
Into
very
the
patriotic.
wild blue yonder. Da, 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 da. Yeah, they all have. Each branch actually has something. Wait, is there did he do a Coast Guard one?
No, Marines.
No, Coast Guard never get. They don't get.
Oh, no.
I'm not getting any love.
Oh no, so Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force. Yeah, Coast Guards don't get their own fleets. They always get the short.
Oh, and he just made a reference to the cheerleaders from like early on with Tony. I don't know. That was probably a dig at him, but can't say for sure.
Probably was.
These are like. Do you think these are inspired by like when Apple does their huge presentation every year and unveiling their new products?
Oh, I too.
Yeah.
That's what I was mentioning. I was like,
Apple,
what
the
would
company
you?
that like started that. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I think Apple will perfect it at least.
No,
They're
is
the ones
this
that
the
made
Iron
it big.
Patriot?
No,
This
this is not the Iron
This
Patriot.
is War Machine.
This is definitely War Machine.
Did he
you're
just
right.
introduce him as War Machine?
No,
No,
this
he
is
just
Iron
introduced
Patriot.
Iron Man.
I mean, but he's not painted.
He says Iron Man. I mean, he says Iron Suit.
Oh,
I guess it's just the Iron Suit, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really War Machine. It's not Iron Patriot yet, quite much.
You know, I don't know. If our military did a presentation like this, I'd be like, hell yeah. This would be cool. I don't know. But then, again, yes, I'd be concerned that the technology might get out of control.
Right.
Tony's like, you ain't doing this.
Well,
shit
that's why.
with
Well, I
me."
mean,
Oh,
he's-
Superman
you know.
landing. Superman
Yes.
landing, Mark.
Yeah,
Superhero
I saw it.
Superhero
Superhero
landing.
landing.
Superhero.
Deadpool did acknowledge that.
Iron Man kind of does that almost every time. The War Machine suit's a little bulkier. It's not as slimming.
exactly.
I guess there's more weapons, bigger weapons packed in there.
I love how.
Yeah.
I just love that relationship between these two. You can literally like be mad at each other, hate each other, but still like love each other enough to have each other's back. That's so cool.
Yeah, 'cause they go way back.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he knows that he heard him say that.
Yeah, this is like when the Sentinels go off.
Yeah,
it's very
exactly.
similar. Now watching this now after having seen Days of Future Past,
More
was
recently.
that 4 years after this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Also Marvel, different cinematic universe as of right now.
And there's a lot of glass. Look at those injuries.
Oh, that'd been so.
Oh
many.
yeah.
If Conor
Oh,
McGregor
they're
hurt
suing.
2 people with one dolly, that glass hurt everybody.
Rhodey looked like he didn't enjoy taking off right
No.
there.
Well, he doesn't have control of the suit.
Ah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
He
true.
just fell onto
Can you
the
imagine how scary that is,
I would-
though?
I would pass out. Oh my god. You go on a roller coaster that's too intense, you're just waiting for it to be over. Can you imagine you're just in this, you're like thousands of feet above the air, shooting, spinning, you have no control.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And he's all calm.
I'd be crying. Well, he's a fighter pilot, right? So he has experience.
I love how like no one gets hit by any of the bullets that are like fully automatic, like laser weapons.
No, see,
Well,
this isn't Zod and Superman fighting, right?
Right.
No,
They kill everybody in their way.
Everyone.
When you assume a
Literally
building
everyone.
goes down, a lot of people are in it.
No, these guys are a little more careful. Than the aliens.
Yeah. Aliens didn't care about us.
No, they
Exactly. That's why so many people died in Man of Steel.
I wonder if someone has calculated the death count. There has to be someone out there who's done it.
Yeah.
Black Widow ain't having it.
She's like, what? Does she?
Very
Trevor
dramatic
doesn't know.
lighting
No,
in
no.
this
Trevor
scene.
doesn't know at all. She's still undercover.
It's very noir. Like,
Yeah, it's almost like the light through the blinds or something. It's very yeah.
It really takes a long time for Black Widow to really come out with her character. It doesn't happen until the end, but
Well, I mean, she came out earlier.
Well, we saw her in the leather suit, but she hasn't like kicked ass in it
but
yet.
not like kicking ass. Like,
No, not yet.
Oh, we haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
still not her movie.
It's not her movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this is very similar to I mean, Black Widow doesn't have her own film yet, but I love how
She will be hopefully soon.
Civil War was that origin film for Black Panther. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is like the origin
It's almost
film
like on TV when they do like what's called a backdoor pilot,
Uh-huh.
where like in an episode of an existing show, they'll all of a sudden have a subplot with like these new different characters, or whatever, and then they'll be the stars of a new show that the network's planning to launch. A lot of shows have ended up doing stuff like that. Can't think of any specific examples at the moment, but it's happened for decades in the TV industry.
Wow, I didn't know
backdoor pilots. Yeah, that's what they call them because you're sneaking in new characters for a new show into an already successful show, and then you spin it out from there. Yeah. So that's kind of like the movie version of that. Marvel's done that pretty well.
They still do it. Honestly, they did it with go on DC when Flash showed up in Arrow.
Yeah. Before the
Flash TV show, he had a couple episodes in Arrow. Before he was Flash, but
sometimes there's a difference where you debut a character just on a show and become so popular that we're like, okay, we're giving them their own show. Backdoor pilots are planned, like you already know you're making the spin-off show.
Right. Well, that one obviously it was already planned.
Yeah.
He was cast already.
You guys know what this is? This kid in the Iron Man mask at the expo, played by Jon Favreau's son, actually.
Really?
This is the kid that is now retroactively. This is Peter Parker. They confirmed. Marvel Studios have confirmed that's supposed to be Peter Parker. Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Wow. Somebody asked. I don't remember where. Okay, when Spider-Man: Homecoming came out last year, I don't remember if somebody randomly asked Tom Holland this or whatever. Like, hey. Because this expo, this is taking place in Queens right now, and the age actually lines up. That was like a 7-8-year-old kid lines up with how old Peter Parker would be in the MCU timeline.
That is so cool.
And I think when he was doing the press rounds for Homecoming, somebody may have asked Tom Holland, "Hey, was that Peter Parker in Iron Man 2 in Queens?" And he said yes. Tom Holland being Tom Holland. Yeah. And then I think it officially, I don't know, like Kevin Feige or somebody later on said, "Yeah, like why not?" That is, I think they confirmed retroactively that is Peter Parker.
Oh, wow.
That Iron Man just saved. So how cool is that?
You gotta love little tidbits like that.
They didn't know that at the time. There's no evidence that in this movie, but retroactively they're saying.
Well, yeah, because they didn't have Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, yeah, they didn't know. Yeah, they didn't have the rights to
Sony,
him at the time, but
what do they call those?
That's
like
one of my
rabbit something or bunny or whatever.
One of my
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs. Yeah.
This is a very Michael Bay.
Easter bunny, little Easter bunny.
That's pretty cool.
That's one of my favorite moments in any comic book film was at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2 after what's her name has died. That little kid in the Spider-Man costume that like confronts the Rhino. Remember? Did you remember seeing that?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Tobey Maguire one. I'm like,
no, I'm talking about the.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That was
when Gwen dies at the end.
When Gwen dies, that was such a powerful moment.
That was
little
powerful.
Kid that.
Yep.
I love this.
Here we go. Here's Black Widow kicking ass. In her.
Martin.
Here we go.
He's being chivalrous. He's taking out the one guy.
The one guy. and struggling, but
happy.
Oh gosh, she's so awesome. I like
Look at her
this
hair.
original.
Yeah, she did her hair in the car as well. Got even curlier.
Yeah.
When she changed her suit.
I almost feel like it's a bit of a wig in this one, but
I'm not sure how much that is Scarlett's real hair.
I don't
No,
know.
well, I mean, yeah.
Well, I think that was probably her double doing all the, or the stunt person with fake hair, but
Could be a wig.
could be a wig though too.
Yeah. I mean, if she dyed her hair,
Pure chaos.
maybe some of the
Pure
stuff,
chaos now.
some scenes was real.
These drones are
Ivan's just deploying everything.
attacking everybody.
Yeah.
Were we used to at this point? Were we used to that huge villain versus hero showdown in superhero films?
Well, we
Is
Is
had
that why we're a
the
little bit disappointed
Abomination.
with this? You know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but we
Well,
wind up
why
getting
not
it.
try
We
to
do get
change
it.
things up? You know,
Yeah, we do get it at the end. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, Whiplash shows up.
this is amazing watching. You know, this is the first time we really see Black Widow kicking
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah,
And now we've seen her do it so many times since, but like this is still really
Well,
impressive.
and just remember, we did have a taste of it at the very beginning when she.
I would
A
When
very
she like in the
small
in the
taste.
boxing.
Yeah.
I would let Black Widow choke slam me.
This
any
is
day.
funny right here. This is she's pepper sprays the guy.
Pepper spray.
Doesn't
I'm
even
done
look.
with you guys.
But
Happy, get it
Come on,
together.
Happy. Come on, Happy. Bite that ear.
Oh, he's going all Evander Holyfield right there.
Well, it is a boxing match, so that makes sense.
It is.
I guess.
Yeah.
Actually,
It's
Mike,
like-
he's going Mike Tyson.
I got him.
Oh yeah, the one. That's a great
Yeah.
gag. You get the one guy who looks down the hallway and sees all the bodies that Black Widow's left behind.
By the way, we see that Ivan is not someone to mess around with. I mean, he kills those guys earlier, but there's no doubt in my mind that in a fight, Black Widow would be able to take him without issue, in my opinion. But
Wait, in the fight with Ivan?
no, with Black Widow, I think as just normal Ivan, not Whiplash. I think had he encountered Black Widow,
yeah.
I think she would have been able to take him.
Oh yeah.
So he got out in time.
But
Is this supposed to be the original?
No, suit difference
Is this
there,
supposed to be the site of? Oh yeah, this Martin. This is like the World's Fair site
Yeah.
in Queens. So you're seeing the same. So that looks like the globe's getting destroyed again, like it did in Men in Black.
Oh
An
yeah.
alien ship came
yeah.
crashing out. Except the two
Yeah.
UFOs are still. Those towers are still
Right.
standing in this movie.
I know it's supposed to play off of that. I don't know.
Where's this What's this biodome?
It almost looks like they're going into the
was
falling
the
into the.
Oracle Dome.
No, it looks like
Fireplace,
it looks like the pterodactyl enclosure from Jurassic World. Actually,
Yeah.
they just fell into. They're going to get attacked by pterodactyls now.
Well, they're in an all of a sudden green world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's nice.
It's not a green vat of liquid, but it's a green world.
yeah. There's still time. There's still time, and for green lamps.
Was Olivia
That's
Munn
not real.
Asian? What is she?
I don't
No, she's fine.
know. Yeah,
She's
I want
fine.
to say she's part European. I'm pretty sure.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure she's
I was going to say
Part
Asian
Asian.
reporter.
Oh,
Check
sure.
that off the list, but nope.
she just rebooted Iron Man suit.
Was Olivia Munn not in one of the earlier Fantastic Four movies in some capacity?
No.
Kate Mara was who we saw in this.
Tim Mara,
The
the later one, yeah.
No, yeah, the later one. But I swear, Olivia, I thought she was in one of the earlier ones. Maybe not.
No,
Okay.
no. This time she was just a host on.
Oh,
Okay,
here's-
okay, yeah, you're right.
Here's Pepper getting all up in Tony's
His
face.
bitch, in his big
You are
bitch.
dying.
I was going to make you an omelet and tell you.
Why don't you tell me?
Oh, women, am I right, guys? Yeah, right.
Let's
All
not
he's
go
doing
there.
is just trying to be the hero.
Hey, you guys are safe.
Fine.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Hey, Martin and I are the non-single ones.
Hey,
We,
Don't
I've
tell-
dealt with women.
Well, there goes
I've
our
dealt with
women fan base.
Yeah, all I know is after
I love women.
after Maggie hears is you're gonna be on the couch.
It's okay, she doesn't listen.
She just makes the.
She just
the
makes all the
artwork.
artwork.
Okay, so Tony he's got his friend back. He's got the other suit, and they are about to face Whiplash in his final form, kind of like Frieza. Final form.
Yes, huh?
There's really no parallel whatsoever. I just feel like saying
there
that.
it is. Hey,
This is a real thing because
Tony Stark feels like he's Goku. But what?
this has actually happened to me. I remember fighting with my friends like all day.
Like
I
physically?
hated them. Yeah. And then that night, something happened to where I ended up getting into a fight with someone down the street. And then at that moment, like all my friends that I hated that day came and like were by my side so it's like. This is just fake anger, you know what I mean? Like, my friends and I, we had fake anger with each other. When it came down to it, we had each other's back. So that's a real thing. Like, every time I see this in their relationship, I remember that moment for me.
I think
Yeah.
this was
Very
filmed
cool.
at some botanical garden in the LA area, in Pasadena area maybe? Or the Huntington Gardens? I'm not sure.
Oh, it looks like
Yeah,
it's filmed in green
this
screen, but
movie
I'll go
was
with
all... No, this movie was
that.
one of the other Marvel movies, like the first few that all filmed in the LA area. Marvel had signed a multi-picture deal with Manhattan Beach Studios to do a lot of their filming, and so until they moved to Georgia.
Okay, so this is an actual botanical garden.
This is pretty. I mean, this might be a set actually because a lot of it's blowing up right now. So this may be a set. This is pretty badass.
It's a pretty awesome
Yeah,
fight.
just Rhodey and Tony just blowing away all these drones.
It's pretty awesome.
This
It's a
is
great
pretty
fight
great.
scene, yeah.
They're still competing with each other.
Yeah,
That's great, man.
Spinning around him, Michael Bay style.
I think this is the first time Tony uses this laser
this
thing.
is.
I've never seen that again.
I love. He's like,
Wait, did he tell Rhodey to duck?
Yeah,
Okay.
he did.
What if he forgot?
And then he's like, "Why don't you just start? Why don't you
Yeah, why
lead
don't you
with
lead
that?"
with
He's
that?
like, "Well, it's a one-time thing." Yeah, he's like,
You should have done that.
It's like an Infinity War. Why was she up there?
What did you do the whole time?
That's pretty cool. You should use that more often. Why do you use that on Thanos?
I'm not
Yeah.
sure what done much, to be honest.
I wanted that big chest explosion on the Thanos. Just once.
Oh yeah.
We didn't see it.
No. And okay, so Hammer's getting arrested here.
Finally getting what's coming to him. What we've been
Okay.
waiting
So
for
they
the
found
whole
out that
movie.
he had.
Yeah, that's funny. It's like sometimes the MCU just doesn't kill their villains, leaves them alive for possible. Like he's still alive.
He's
He
still
could
alive,
pop
yeah.
back
He
up.
could have played a role in like a lot of other ongoing movies.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't keep him in there. Maybe
Tim
because
Blake
he just
Nelson
kinda
never
felt
came
like
back.
the
There's
movie
definitely.
going,
Well, I think Michael Keaton is going to come back in the Homecoming sequel.
Oh no,
I
he's
believe.
definitely
He might,
coming back.
yeah.
Which is
There's
cool
no
because
doubt
there's
about it.
another villain kept alive.
No, I'm
at the
pretty
end
sure he's in the
and-
credits. Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be cool.
We'll
But
see.
yeah.
We'll see to what extent, but yeah.
But we're gonna see Mysterio.
But it's like the MCU with 20 movies now. After a certain point, it's like you can't keep bringing back every single character you've kept alive. You know, it's like they might not cross paths with them again. That's plausible.
So,
Oh, he
I've
does.
been creating his
Whiplash.
own suit.
So is he still considered Whiplash with the suit?
Yep, he's still
Wow.
Whiplash.
But in
He's
the
just-
okay, I see.
Yeah, he's just this more cinematic version of Whiplash,
Right.
if you will.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is
Oh,
such
this
a
is
good
such a funny
payoff.
scene.
Yeah.
He uses the freaking hammer tech and it just
Oh, it doesn't
fizzles
just
out.
like bounce off him.
Just
It
no
just
no
fizzles-
better than a bottle
just
rocket.
fizzles
basically.
out.
Yeah.
He's like,
Fizzles
that's hammer
out.
tech, yeah.
That was great.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Tony. Not gonna work this time. Shooting little things at him.
Well, he's trying to hit his face, but you know,
Yeah.
he's not quick enough.
These electrified whips.
Does he?
Thanks.
Is this where that payoff comes from Avengers when Thor hits him with the lightning? And then it charges. Like,
Actually,
did that
no.
first happen
It
here?
should no because this doesn't charge him.
Well, I feel like that was something that he created later on. Maybe
Maybe
for this
because
reason.
of this incident,
Yeah.
He could have
added
created
that
later on.
feature that
But the thing
suit
is, when it
absorbed.
happened to him, he was surprised.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, you're."
How about that?
Maybe it more
It's charged
conductive to
100%.
electricity
Yeah.
after. Yeah, I don't know.
So this is where I was saying earlier. This is
Okay.
the foreshadowing scene coming back to how they're gonna beat him, which kind of was ingenious if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's cool they show the
Whiplash.
interfaces inside their suits start getting kind of messed up too.
I was reading that end dash view that we have of their
Wow.
faces inside their suits. I was reading that and that's one of the reasons why the Iron Man 1 was such a huge success because we were able to connect with them inside the.
That was pretty ingenious for like
Yeah.
Favreau to come up with a way to show
Yeah.
them, because obviously there's no way there'd be that much space. There's not that much space in front of his face in the real suit. Like
All right.
I don't even know how you would make it. It's probably like less than an inch from his eyes. Like how does he? You know, how are you able to focus on the display? But so is he dead? Yeah.
No, not yet.
No, he's not dead yet. Whiplash.
But he will be
What's
soon.
up?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Get out of there. Whiplash is about to blow.
Everything.
Blast off. Blast off.
Pepper was hard-headed. That's
Oh,
what
the
the
first thing he thinks
most
is
damsels in
behind.
distress are. She's like, I'm gonna stay behind and make sure everyone's gone.
Yeah.
She's standing by herself next to a bomb.
It's her own damn fault, Chris.
It's her own damn
That is her own damn fault. What's she standing there
She's
for?
watching
There's
it play.
nobody there.
That's never. She's literally standing. It's never a good sign when something is just flashing red and beeping on an enemy weapon laying in front of you. And you're right. She was just standing there staring at it for a good 30 seconds.
And nobody else was in. They already evacuated. She should evacuate
Chris,
everyone.
you're right. You're right.
Capers,
It's her-
I think we
That
may
was
have
her
a
own
new
damn
thing going
fault.
here where Chris is going to find something where it's the person's own damn fault. Every
Yeah, well, at
damn
least- you know what?
time.
Hashtag your own damn fault.
Y'all damn fault. But at least Pepper did not die in this one. And Iron Man didn't have to fly around the Earth like
Yeah,
Superman
yeah.
to reverse the
Right,
rotation.
yeah.
and bring back to life, so.
Honestly, Chris, I think this could be big. In Parks and Rec, they got treat yourself. I think you got your own damn fault.
Oh, damn fault. Oh, let's
Yo,
make this
how
happen.
would
Let's
you
make
spell
this
that? How
happen.
would you spell yo?
Your own damn
You're
fault.
all damn fault.
Y.
Let's say this needs to go viral. You
Or
gotta make it
Y-A.
viral.
Y-A-O-W-N.
Yeah.
Your own
Damn
damn fault.
We've got to bring this up in the next
You
we post this.
guys.
No, that's
Hashtag this shit.
That's your own
So
damn
the-
fault.
you're gonna be the film
Pepper.
school dropout
Your own damn
and the blamer or something like that.
Pepe, you ain't gonna ever find any love, and it's your own damn fault.
She was just
Oh, no.
staring at that bomb for a
Oh,
really long
the
time.
first
Yeah,
kiss.
look at it. You said they
The
what you gonna find
first
love.
juicy kiss.
First
for
kiss
Tony
in
and
this
Pepper.
movie, right?
Start.
Yeah,
No, it's
they
the
kissed in the
first
last
kiss.
movie?
No,
No,
it's
they
first
did
kiss.
not. They almost did.
It's
They
the
almost
first
did,
kiss
yeah.
period.
Yeah.
So they weren't a couple before this?
No.
No.
No,
Oh,
dude.
not.
I thought they were.
There was
She
a
was
romance
sleeping with all
that
those
was
other
building.
girls.
I see.
Yeah, there
It
was
was
romance.
She was
that was
escorting
building.
him
The
out.
tension between them was palpable.
Yes.
So-
You guys look like two
Fighting over
seals
a
fighting
grape.
for grape.
Ah,
It's
Beer of the week.
DonGraper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beer of the week.
What are the
DonGraper.
chances there is a
And-
grape or grape mention in the movie we're watching? That was amazing.
And I just want to point out that
Amazing.
scene was very reminiscent of the way they did Avengers Infinity War with Gamora and Star-Lord kissing, and then out of the blue
Stop.
is
Drax.
Drax.
How long have you been standing there
How long
for?
you been
An hour.
So apparently they like those kind of scenes, I guess. But
It's like whenever I hold still, you can't see me. I can see. He's just eating a bag of like Cheetos or
and
something.
then Mantis comes in and he's like, I
The
see you.
best. The best.
Oh, hi, Drax.
Okay, now
There-
here's
there-
where. Wait. we're
there
gonna
was
see
your
footage
Asian
from
reporter.
Hulk. Asian reporter.
Ah.
All right, Asian reporter.
There you
Oh
go.
my
man.
god.
Avengers
Avengers
Initiative. Now
Initiative.
here's where we're going to see footage from the campus battle in Incredible Hulk, I believe, on one of these monitors.
Nick Fury doesn't think he's ready still, unfortunately.
Oh, look at there's a map of Africa with a dot on it. I think that represents Black Panther. Well, they didn't really
Wakanda.
know about.
Well, Wakanda, yeah.
They didn't know about Wakanda.
Oh,
here's the
there's
footage.
the footage.
That's
I see
footage
it.
in the background.
Yeah, I see the footage.
Well, the thing is, they know about Wakanda. They just didn't know. They don't know that Wakanda
Right.
is a third world country to them. Now.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Exactly, yeah.
But maybe they have a sense something's going on. Who knows? Who knows? So now they're kind of resuming their conversation about the Avengers Initiative.
Narcissism.
Well-
See? He said it.
Well, no. This is
Creating narcissism.
this is Black Widow's report on Tony
Gotcha.
Stark,
Correct.
which at the beginning of Avengers, when they bring him up to we need your help, he starts reciting the same
Yeah.
report.
Oh,
see.
He held it
You
in.
thought I was narcissistic, and you thought I was this and this,
Yeah.
being petty, of course. So, but
So there we go.
but he's still trying.
You know, it's kind of funny in this movie. All you get is the Hulk footage, and then
Yeah.
obviously later on you get to see Thor in the footage. You get to see Hulk, and you get to see other people too. So it's kind of funny. That's the build-up, though, I guess, from these movies.
Yeah.
That's how it
Oh
works.
yeah.
Especially that
now.
map of the world. I don't know what that's denoting. There's a lot of different spots on that map. Maybe
Yeah.
for some
No, I'm not sure.
future
that's
superheroes.
Where they're gonna come from?
It's just like that technology that S.H.I.E.L.D. uses in Winter Soldier with the targeting the people
Yeah.
of interest,
Yeah.
Oh, Gary
Oh, this is
Shandling.
great.
Hated doing
We
this.
need a prisoner.
He forces him to do this. Yeah.
Not a good day for Hydra. Where's this Hydra pin? Is it hidden under his lapel there? So, yeah, I don't know.
Well, he is wearing a Hydra lapel in the Civil War movie, so
Right.
it's kind of funny that he.
Yeah, which is
doesn't
really
have that
obvious, you think, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, got more AC/DC going. Everything's cooler with AC/DC playing in the background.
It actually
let's
is,
be
yeah.
honest. I mean, come on. Although the song Iron Man is actually by
Is that-
that's like Black Sabbath, right?
Gary finds a creative way to call Tony a prick by pricking him with a little thing.
Very cool.
Yeah, exactly.
He plays such a good douchebag.
John Cheadle looks good in like a military uniform. I don't know.
Yeah.
He pulls it off. Like I buy it. You know?
Maybe he served at some point.
That's it. Wow.
That's it. Wow.
That's the movie. All right.
Now, do we get a post-credit scene in this?
We do. Yes.
Oh yeah. You don't remember what it is?
I don't.
Don't remind him.
I do not remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't think about it, so you'll be surprised.
Okay.
I'm about to do a film school dropout and go pee during the credits.
Woohoo!
Yes, he's going to watch this, going to pee during the credits. Hey, you'll enjoy that pee in there while the credits are on.
That was good. Yeah, I don't know if it's as good as the other two Iron Man movies, but
This one is better than 3.
really, I like Iron Man 3. I'm a fan of Iron
See,
Man.
the thing is, I like parts of Iron Man 3, but ultimately I didn't buy it.
Yeah, I had a tough time with Iron Man 3. I just feel like they messed up too much of the source material.
Yeah, I mean, Shane Black has his own kind of style, and style of writing and directing.
They just really got the Mandarin wrong in so many ways. It just
I can see how that rubs some people the wrong way.
Oh, it really did.
But I liked all the stuff with Tony and the little kid.
I'm sorry, once he had a little suit, you didn't need the Avengers no more. He had 30 suits that he could control remotely.
Yeah.
He just blows them all up. That's billions of dollars of tech. Oh, no, it just didn't make any sense at the very end.
Yep.
But I do like the fact in that movie, which we'll talk about when we get to that. But like the fact that he's like stuck out there by himself trying to fix and living in the real world.
I think they definitely need to bring back Sam Rockwell somehow.
I would love it.
Somehow.
I thought he was a funny character.
But I almost forgot that he was in the MCU. Yeah, I think this movie, Iron Man 2, it's kind of ends up being one of the more forgettable ones. Not that it's bad or anything, but I don't know, people are focused on a lot of the other.
Well, I mean, other than
sequels,
other than the introductions, I think as far as canon goes, it doesn't like you can still watch and keep up with what's going on in the MCU canon.
Yeah.
Yes, there's introductions, and I think there's introductions with obviously Nick Fury and
Black Widow and
his father, and so all those things are like
they
introduced.
set up some things,
but
you
can watch it. You can watch that stuff later on and still keep going without seeing this.
It is a weird movie in the universe, though. There is an element, I agree, where it feels like it's almost separate from the universe. I can't explain it.
I mean, you probably could just skip this movie and just watch Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Captain America, and go right into Avengers without even watching this, and it wouldn't really matter.
Here's the thing.
You don't even need to watch Hulk.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. The whole poisoning thing, like, that was really an only element. That doesn't even get discussed in the first one. It's just this movie. So you really could.
And you already saw Nick Fury recruit Tony Stark for the Avengers Initiative. All you need is that one sentence at the end of the first one. You don't need any of the further explanation.
Yeah.
Black Widow can just be introduced in Avengers, whatever, and you'll learn more about her backstory later on anyway.
Just like how you just picked up on X-Men out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
so
the
this
same
is
thing.
Pretty much a forgettable movie.
Which what are you talking about, X-Men?
This is like how you didn't know any backstory when you started to watch the X-Men films.
Yeah.
Someone could have done the same thing with Avengers, or not Avengers, but with Thor, or just what.
Thomas J. Whalen, what is that unit production manager? When we were at the DGA, that name really rings a bell for me.
Maybe.
I feel like he was a member.
What's the song you're singing right now?
Feels very Captain America, the first one.
Yeah.
But Tom Welling does sound familiar.
Yeah, it does.
Or do you think about Tom Welling?
No, I'm thinking about Tom J. Whalen. I know I saw him in credits during like the DJ.
I don't know.
Or like on something, on some pamphlet for like one of the meetings or something.
Like we said before, that's
Stephen King.
Nah, it's not.
I don't think
not
it's
the same one. But like we said before, because we all work in the industry, been here a little while.
Killmonger.
We know a lot of people, so that's why it's kind of fun for us to watch credits. And a lot of times we might recognize somebody we know. Either we're seeing them in the credits before we knew them, or people we've met years ago who are now working on different things. And it's pretty cool.
Was that guy Gutenberg?
What?
Remember that guy
Gutenberg?
Gutenberg?
I don't know.
That?
What are you talking about?
We had in the office. We always had so much fun saying people's names.
Oh, there was
Martin,
something.
So we're looking at all the digital artists and all the visual effects companies. This movie was actually nominated for an Oscar.
I remember what you're talking about now. I just can't remember.
Yeah.
This movie was nominated for an Oscar for Best Visual Effects.
Good.
Do you know what movie it lost to?
Visual effects. This is 2000. Hold on.
2010.
2010.
I think you got it.
Wasn't?
You'll get it. No.
Hold on.
Okay.
You guys go ahead, keep talking. I'll just think of this.
Was it
All right.
Avatar?
No, that was 2009.
That was
I
probably
believe that probably won it for 2009. But
2010. Now I'm kind of curious myself.
It couldn't have been Life of
Same.
Pi.
another movie from a director of superhero movies, but it wasn't a superhero movie. It was something he did in between two of his superhero movies.
Got it.
You got it? What?
Inception.
Yep, Inception won the Oscar for Best Visual Effects for 2010.
Huh.
Yep, deservedly so.
I was going to say Chef, but...
Hey, look at that! Look at that!
was like-
Skywalker sound, Lucasfilm
Yeah.
company. Interesting.
Yeah, Skywalker's. Actually, you'll see Skywalker sound in almost every single movie credits.
That makes sense. I know they play a big.
They're
role
a
in movies.
very major sound mixing facility for major movies, and they're on a Lucasfilm division. So they have all the songs, so many AC/DC songs, a couple Clash songs. So it's actually a different composer. We're listening to music. This was John Debney. He's done a lot of different things. The first movie was Ramin Djawadi, who's done all the music for Westworld and Game of Thrones and Pacific Rim.
And remember
Well,
Adam
Goldstein,
Goldstein.
which is DJ AM, because he died
Okay.
before the movie.
Oh, I love how they have all the military advisors. It's cool when they get actual military cooperation, film at the real bases and get real input. It makes it seem more realistic.
Like with the movie Battleship.
Well, I don't think that one really worked.
What about Battle Los Angeles?
No.
Maybe.
But regardless, there still has to be people like... It's so funny, 'cause I watch my roommate, he's in the military, he's a staff sergeant, and every time we watch films together on the couch, he always talks about like how things aren't true to military form. Like, no one would hold a gun like that, or yada, yada, yada. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Oh, so we're getting the post-scene credit.
No. Do you remember
At
now,
the
Ryan,
end of the
what it
credits.
is?
Remember-
I still don't remember.
Still doesn't remember?
in the desert.
Dude,
Opening
this
in the
is...
desert?
You don't remember, it's an RV, they're gonna
Oh, is
go...
this a Thor reference?
They're gonna go
Yes.
do, make
Okay,
cocaine.
I remember
Now,
that.
I think we've talked about this before, but like, I don't know a lot of these characters, before I see them in movie form. So like, I remember seeing this and being, I think I had heard of Thor.
But you didn't know
I wasn't
the hammer?
100% sure, but I saw that and I was like, oh, I think I know what character. But like, just teasing that, I knew nothing about Thor. Now I think about how familiar I am with Thor.
Right. Well, I'm sorry. Did you not know about the hammer?
that's what it
Because
was.
they even had that in Adventures of Babysitting, where the girl
I don't
was
know.
running around with
Maybe.
the Thor hat on and the hammer, and that's what Thor was known
What's
as.
the hammer's called?
So
It's
that-
based off the
Oh my
actual.
god, you guys
Mjolnir.
killed Mjolnir.
Is that wait?
Mjolnir.
Is that when he threw the hammer and cast out like you don't deserve this hammer?
Yes,
he threw it.
that is
He
correct,
came
yeah.
to Earth.
You know what's cool? We had to
Yes.
wait.
Exactly.
Who's
Yeah.
he?
Thor's daddy.
But Martin, instead of
Odin,
waiting,
Odin.
waiting a
Odin.
few months, you had to wait an entire year to see that.
Wow.
Thor was the next movie, and it was a year after.
People
It was
were probably
May
so
2000,
excited
May
for a year.
2011.
I
Yeah.
must have been freaking out for a year to get that
So
movie.
you
out.
saw-
we were
yeah.
there. We lived this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
people must have been this. We were around.
Guys,
We experienced
I gotta
this.
say,
I hated it.
I gotta say, doing all this and watching these movies again, I get like really excited the day before we do this, like
Really?
for the movie
Yeah.
again. Like I can't wait for when we do Thor and the
We
other ones. Like,
because we're watching now from a new perspective.
Yeah.
We said this before after seeing
Yeah.
the next 17 movies in the MCU. Or
well, and
something.
like getting
it's-
each other's feelings and opinions on it.
Well, you guys make me realize stuff I've never realized about it.
again.
Yeah, for sure. So
So I just want to say,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool.
that was
Like,
a great. That was a
I
great
like being a
tease.
caper.
Yeah, like I'm excited for Thor again, even though I've seen it a gazillion times.
Think
in that
about it.
movie,
This is
but-
actually the first post-credit scene that teased a new character we hadn't seen yet.
Oh yeah.
That we hadn't actually seen because the first one was just Fury popping up saying join
Right.
the Avengers Initiative. This is just seeing the hammer of
next one,
Thor.
yeah.
And this one you got
Right.
the shield too, so you're seeing like the
Captain
main
America, yeah.
the main weapons of these two
This is like a
major
pre-Avengers movie,
Yeah.
almost.
characters.
Well,
Yeah.
well, the thing is, at this time they had announced already that Thor and Captain America's coming
Yeah.
out.
Oh, they
And that's
did.
why when that shield popped up,
Yeah.
people were like, "Oh,
Yeah,
that's
people knew they were
Shield."
coming.
Yeah.
They actually had Kenneth Branagh film that end credits
that's
scene
funny.
on the set while they were filming.
Because I gotta be honest, the
So,
Captain
yeah.
America thing, that went right by me. I totally do not remember that at all the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
That
no,
really
originally
Oh, I
was
definitely
coming.
that.
Yeah, I remember that.
I did
Cool.
not.
Like-
But see, that's the thing. Like even not knowing the characters. I mean, I knew them, but a lot of people didn't know the characters. You know, of Captain America having his shield.
Yeah.
You know of Hammer having his
We
Thor.
hadn't met
Thor having his
Hemsworth or
hammer.
Evans
Thor having
yet,
his
which is
hammer.
crazy to think. I love that little tease. I remember seeing that, and I actually remember the feeling of seeing that tease
You
of the
do.
hammer, and being like, I don't know anything about the character. I'm so excited for this whole movie.
Yeah.
Like I think I've heard of Thor. It's like looking back now. It's like I almost can't remember how much I even knew of these characters, which wasn't much.
And that's what's fun about it. It's like reliving what you remember the first time you're watching and what you don't remember when you're watching it. It's cool from that perspective now.
Yeah, Thor was always, like I said before, my friend, his favorite character was Thor. Like, he had Thor posters up on his wall in his bedroom. That's how I knew who Thor was.
Yeah. But this has happened a lot of times since, like the end of Infinity War, the little beeper with the Captain Marvel symbol. I know nothing about Captain Marvel. I'm excited, but I know that after March of next year, after I see that movie, and I'm sure she'll be in a bunch of other movies, I'll know Brie Larson as Captain Marvel as well as I feel like I know Captain America and Tony Stark now, characters I knew nothing about.
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Exactly. I know nothing about Guardians of the Galaxy, but at this point it's just a cool tease, and I'm excited for her movie. But a few years from now, I'm going to really know her well as a character. That's exciting to me because I don't know the comics or anything.
And I actually have to point out, when Thor, when he loses Mjolnir in a later movie, that was really Yo Damn Self. So.
It's damn, yo damn
I'm kind of into that now.
Yo damn fault.
Yeah, I mean, Thor was considered for me. Thor was top 5 superhero films for me for years. And when I say years, it's it's weird to say that because it's only been 4 or 5.
You say Thor?
Well, Martin, I actually thought when you said Thor's top 5, you're always rating the attractive actresses in top 5s and stuff. So I thought you were talking about looks for a second.
Chris Hemsworth, he's number 3.
Thor's in my top 5 for.
Anyway,
very cool. So that was great.
We did it, guys.
Very cool to go back and watch that. So, I love that we get the first Rhodey action and we get the first Black Widow action.
We got the first Nick Fury action.
This movie. Okay, this movie's important in a lot of ways.
We had everyone here. We had Captain America's shield. We had Thor's hammer.
Yeah,
there's all the Avengers stuff.
A lot of character building with
well, this is exactly what Jon Favreau didn't want to do apparently, but it set the foundation for a lot of stuff. So very cool.
This is more effective than was it Batman vs Superman? Did you see that footage? Was it Batman vs Superman?
Yes, it was.
Footage of all the other DC characters. It's way more effective.
Oh, that was way shoehorned in. We'll talk about that. That was bad. No, this is good. This is very subtle. So very cool. Fun and Sam Rockwell, always pleasure to watch.
Hammer Industries.
Well, Capers, you lasted a long time with us, and I hope you enjoyed Iron Man 2 as much as we did, because this is fun to go back and look at this film. So.
We got our second show done from Black Hat Comics in Burbank here.
And we definitely hope you enjoy our previous podcast with Superman and Hulk and Iron Man and Avengers and all the other ones.
And all the future ones.
And all the future ones.
And watch out for Hammer Industries, because it does pop up occasionally. Hammer Industry weapons.
For any of you cosplayers out there, if you have a costume related to any of the movies that we've done, send us a picture. Let's see what you've done to look like some of these characters. So we want to see what you're doing. So we know there's a lot of cool cosplayers out there. So
absolutely,
cool.
Martin and I were lucky enough to meet Darth Lexi at the convention we went to recently, Long Beach Comic Con. So.
Darth Lexi, if you have any Iron Man related or Black Widow related costumes,
I haven't seen any.
Let's see them.
I haven't seen any, so let's see if she does.
Well, I do know a Harley Quinn cosplayer, but we're not talking.
Maybe she does Pepper Potts. Does anybody cosplays Pepper Potts? I don't know. It's possible. Anyway, all right, Capers. Until next time. Thanks for listeing, and
up and away.
We all put our hands up in the air. I don't know why.
Because we're gonna fly.
Capers out.
Peace out. Capers out.